Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim. We do have STFC tickets to give away. We'll let you know today how to win those tickets. That's for Friday night, so very good giveaway. We'll hear from Mike Shild. We're in full reaction mode to the Padres losing a series in Miami. Amazing what 24 hours will do. We thought maybe they could win a series or sweep a series 24 hours ago, but 2 one-run losses, the offense ineffectiveness. The Padres are testing our patience again. Sandy Alcantara today turned back the clock to look like Sandy Alcantara. Stop me if you've heard it before, but we'll hear from Mike Shield coming up. Kevin Acee will join us at 3:30. There's a ton of trade chatter out there, including, of all names, Dylan Cease. Who would have ever thought that? Has anyone discussed Dylan Cease possibly being on the move?
No, not us 2 weeks ago.
No, I know you talked about it. We're basically ridiculed for talking about it. Now it sounds like the Padres are listening on Dylan Cease. But let's start with today. Let's start with this series.
Yeah.
Deja vu all over again. 7 runs in the series. Yesterday, 1 run through 8. They scored 2 in the 9th. Today, 2 measly runs. One of them off Alcantara was unearned in this game because of a throwing error from the catcher. I mean, we said it last night. We signed off. I'm like, if they make Sandy Alcantara look like Sandy Alcantara, I'm like, well, you know what's going to happen. 7 innings for the first time this year, 1 unearned run, and the Padres, with their tail between their legs, are heading for St. Louis this weekend.
Wow, well, the offense is,
They're fixed.
It's on the uptick because we scored 8 runs on Sunday and 7 runs on Friday.
Right.
You're playing the Washington Nationals. It's like if they play the Rockies a bunch, you're going to score some runs.
Right.
Now the Marlins coming into the series, sneaky good.
They've played better.
They're now 18-8 in their last 26 games after this series. So coming into this series,
right,
they're 16-7.
They're like sneaky good.
They are.
Right.
They got some talent, man.
Very good pieces.
Hey, Peter Bendix, maybe I was wrong about you.
Hey, right, exactly. Like I wasn't familiar with your game.
Right, exactly. I'm sorry. I didn't realize this. The offense continues to be the main issue with this team.
You're right.
It will continue to be the main issue with this team. I think it will be the main issue with this team even after the deadline. If you are out there thinking that the deadline is just going to magically fix everything, I got some news for you because it ain't.
Right.
All right. 1 or 2 bats that they bring in here, unless those 2 guys turn into, Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, then you're going to still have problems on offense because Fernando Tatis Jr., Jackson Merrill, Gavin Sheets is in a slump right now. Jake Cronenworth, if he's still on this team. Your catching spot, which is not changing, by the way. I mean, if anybody thinks that they're getting a new catcher here next week, I got some news for you. I'd be very surprised if they just upended their catching, spot the next week here because Schulte loves these guys. So it comes down to, hey, the players they have on this team right now need to step at the F up, and they need to produce and they need to perform. I don't like going into blaming or putting all of this on one guy.
Do it
because
but
because it is. I mean, it's a team sport, and you need everybody to do their job. And
where are you going, Tatis?
I'm going Tatis
already.
I'm going Tatis. I know. At least I
made it 4 minutes.
I made it 4 minutes, dude. Fernando Tatis Jr. John. Yeah, not great. The second half so far for Toddy. All right. You want to know how many hits he has in the second half?
I already know, but you can tell our listeners.
Well, he has 3.
Oh, he has 3. I thought he had 2.
Well, he had 1 today. Coming into the game, he had 2. And he left today with 3 total in the second half. 3 total hits in the second half for Fernando Tatis Jr. His OPS now is 798. He's hitting 262 on the year. He has 16 home runs. And how many at-bats does he have on the scene? 378 at-bats. This is not the same offensive player, and we've talked about this multiple times. He's a good player. He is a top 20 player, 25 player in the sport. He's one of the best defensive outfielders in right field. He's one of the best right fielders defensively in baseball. Maybe the best defensive right fielder in baseball. But what makes Tatis special and what made Tatis special was his bat, was him at the plate. His at any moment changes the game. He hits can have a game where he hits 3 home runs, multiple home run games. He can have a series where he hits, multiple home runs in every game of the series. That player is gone. I don't know where that player is, and I don't know if that player ever will return.
Well, shoot, if we're going to do the 4 minutes in, let's just burn the thing down. I'll match you. Okay.
Burn it down, baby.
Tatis sucks. All right. Okay, here. Let me counter. Okay.
All right.
Let's do it right now.
Sure.
We'll talk about what Jon Heyman and Buster Olney are reporting on Dylan Cease and the Padres' interest in veteran starting pitching and Stephen Kwan. We'll get into all of it. We have time. We're going to hear from Mike Shield. Kevin Acee is going to join us. You want to burn the thing down?
I'm not burning it down. I'm just
up the Tatis.
All right, fine, go.
Up the Tatis and tell you Manny Machado's defense has I mean, you could argue Manny Machado's errors the last 2 games cost them 2 games. Now, nobody wants to talk about it. It's off limits. But Johnny's had a great year at the plate. I know. I tell you every single day. Manny Machado, he's such a brilliant outfielder. Infielder. How is he only won this many Gold Gloves? Go to his Baseball Savant page, click on the little arrow that shows you 2016, 2017, all the way to 2025. His defense is nowhere near what it's been. The error he committed today was so lackadaisical and awful. He had like a minute to throw to first. He throws low. It can't be dug out. It's the difference between winning and losing the game. His error yesterday, where he just throws the ball down the right field line and you lose by 1 run. Mm-hmm. Again, if we're just gonna burn it all down, and I agree, I'd rather talk about Tatis and Machado than talk about, well, Trenton Brooks can't hit with men in scoring position. Why would you expect Trenton Brooks to hit with men in scoring position?
If we're sitting here saying that they're losing games because of Trenton Brooks,
they may be.
They might be. But you got to look at the whole picture here. And I'm sorry, Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jackson Merrill are making a little more money than Trenton Brooks.
I'll go one further.
All right, there, go.
I'll go further to a guy that has finished runner-up in Cy Young Award voting.
Oh, okay.
You can't come out of the gates
we're
in
burning
Miami,
this thing down, dude.
You can't come out of the gates in Miami.
Let's just do it
against the Marlins in that ballpark where scoring a run is like the eighth wonder of the world, and go back-to-back walks.
Not great.
You can't strike everyone out and have a 5 ERA. You can't tell me your stuff is elite and then pitch like Blake Snell when Blake Snell looks like Blake Snell.
John, but his first pitch fastball percentage is great.
It's great. So, I mean, again,
nobody cares.
Again, they're testing our patience is the point. Nothing. They're fine. They're in playoff positioning. The season isn't over. They could still win a division, and we have no clue what's going to come at the trade deadline and beyond. But man, are they testing our patience? And I'm willing to now go as far as say, consider trading Dylan Cease. Consider a shakeup of your veteran lineup like a Jay Cronenworth or even a Luis Arias. Because you know what? The team is good, but are they good enough? And they're certainly not great. And you could certainly argue making some changes. And by the way, 10 or 11 starts of Dylan Cease from here on out this year. What's the difference between his 10 or 11 average starts or someone else making 10 or 11 average starts and you getting a return for Dylan Cease?
Like Charlie Morton.
But anyone. If he's going to have a 5 ERA and you can get a return for him, why wouldn't you trade him and just bring in some other guy that can have a 5 ERA?
That's what me and Brent were talking about 2 weeks ago. You're losing him anyway. You don't trust him in the postseason.
Right, his 13 career ERA in the postseason.
You're so you could get something back for him, and what are you really missing? You can get another guy to throw 5 innings with a 5 ERA everywhere.
That's all these guys.
Yeah, you have another guy on this roster that could give you 5 innings and have a 5 ERA this season.
His name's Stephen Kolek. He did it yesterday. He was better than that.
Ryan Bergert actually is better than that.
Right, exactly. Vasquez, 4 1/3 guy, but yeah.
Now, in the postseason, do you trust Dylan Cease? I have been saying, like, no, I don't. I don't. I'm sorry. What I saw last year from Dylan Cease, him absolutely crumble in the biggest moment of the season, twice.
Yeah, I thought twice. Yeah,
and I'm looking at his career ERA. It's not a lot of innings, but still, I'm not about it. And I've seen enough this year from Dylan where I'm like, I don't trust you in a big game. Now, today was not Dylan's fault. I can't say that it was all Dylan's fault.
The final line is what, 5 innings, 2 earned runs?
Yeah, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. It's fine.
I know, but the walks, dude.
I know the walks and his command are
all year,
infuriating.
All year.
Yep. I get it, but he wasn't the reason why they lost today. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah,
completely.
bigger picture, Dylan Cease in the long run here, like if he's not going to give you a pretty stellar second half and he's not going to return for you and you're not going to trust him in a postseason series, like you got to think creative and think outside the box. We've been talking about that. What outside the box things can this team do? Do you really want to take away a 750 OPS player in Jake Cronenworth, or would you want to take away a guy that's a 5 ERA?
Well, remember last night what we said in the wrap-up show? I mean, we were literally like hysterically laughing last night. A lot of it was because how could Trenton Brooks keep his job when Luis Campusano is Babe Ruth in AAA right now?
Better than Babe Ruth.
That's neither here nor there. The other thing we said last night, now I lost my train of thought, and I think it was on Dylan Cease. Oh, no, it was on, creative.
Yeah.
Because we spent the whole day yesterday saying, AJ Preller, man, he's so creative. We were giving him credit. We're like, man, it's going to be creative. Creative, what we learned in talking through it, it just means you can't do what you want to do. Yeah. The word creative is basically saying
we have to trade one of our everyday regular players,
or we don't have any money, and then people see last night the trade rumors, and it's unlikely to actually be accurate. But let's say the Padres do in fact have interest in Marcell Ozuna.
It's not accurate, by the way.
Let's just say they add him, and people are like, "Oh, I don't want Marcell Ozuna." Well, you just heard the creative word. Creative equals Marcell Ozuna. Uncreative is Juan Soto in the biggest trade in baseball history. Creative is I have no money, therefore what I'm getting in return is a flawed player. So just be prepared for creative, because I think creative means you don't have what you wish you had. You don't have a strong system that's going to reap you rewards via trade, and you don't have a lot of money to spend on players that could come over to you.
Yeah.
Therefore, you got to be creative, which to me means it's messy and it's ugly, and we'll see if we can make it work.
You ever watch the show? I think I've talked about this before. You ever watch the show called Chopped on Food Network? Probably not.
No. What do they do? Make food?
Yeah, it's on the Food Network. They make food.
They take ingredients and make something good?
So they have contestants, 3 contestants, and each contestant's given a box, like a mystery box.
Yeah, you've talked about this. Yeah.
And the contestants, have 30 minutes to cook up a meal. And they open the box, and you would think like, oh, they get good ingredients like a steak and some vegetables and like seasonings and everything. They get a pile of crap.
It's like lemon and cilantro.
It's like Starburst and beef jerky sticks and like some weird fish you've never heard of, like octopus or something crazy like that.
Do some people actually turn it into something pretty appealing?
Some do, but most of the time you're looking there and be like, I got to get creative with this. And that's kind of where you're at with Preller. Preller has a box of, a couple good ingredients. Like he has like a nice steak. It might not be the best steak in the world, but it's a nice steak, right? He has a couple nice vegetables you can work with, some chanterelle mushrooms, right? And then he's got other things in there like Starburst and beef jerky.
Right.
And it's like, all right, how do we upgrade this box? But you need to be creative with it. So you have to trade away a piece of steak to replace the beef jerky and the Starburst, but you had to trade away the steak for something else. And AJ right now, looking at the roster, it's like, all right, you got Dylan Cease, you got Jake Cronenworth. Those are some pieces that you could trade away to get some back while also freeing up money to go out and get the necessary pieces that you need to fill some other holes. Can you do it? And yes, the creative part doesn't really sound that creative because it's like, wait, they're trading away Dylan Cease or Jake Cronenworth, but he has no other option.
Yeah, the creative thing is beginning to scare me. And I know we've heard everything already, and there's still 8 days until the trade deadline. But this whole they got to be creative thing is another, it's a code word for it's not going to be what you hope it is potentially at the deadline if you're a Padres fan. We'll hear from Mike Shield on the other side. Padres lose in Miami. They lose the series. The latest on the deadline was being reported at this hour on Dylan Cease and Charlie Morton and Stephen Kwan and more.
So everybody.
Plus a potential late season addition for the Padres and their pitching staff. All of that ahead. Plus Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider at 3:30. This is Jon and Jim. All right, so Kevin Acee is going to join us coming up at 3:30. He wrote today in his newsletter, and this is the Padres. There's all sorts of chatter around the league about the Padres looking to swing big. Well, that would be funny because they're not doing that on field, but they're looking to swing big at the trade deadline to land a player who can give them some big swings. Okay. As I noted earlier in the week, it appears their deadline machinations will involve, I love that word.
Wow.
Will involve unloading some salary as well. There's creativity for you. They're going to take a big swing to add someone that can take a big swing. And in the process, they're going to get rid of someone in their lineup that takes big swings.
Or someone in the rotation.
Correct. As we've talked about here today.
So the question that we had, was it yesterday or the day before? All right, you got to trade one of these guys to offload Arise, Cronenworth, or Cease. Who are you trading?
Who did I say?
I think you said Arise. Or no, I think you said Cronenworth.
I thought we had Suarez would be in the conversation.
Oh, I put Suarez in the conversation. I think we didn't have Cease. I think it was Suarez and Cronenworth and Arise. Cease wasn't in there. I'll put Cease in there.
Here's the thing. Recency bias. I'm like, send Dylan Cease to Mars. Because every time I watch him pitch, he's so mid. But I do understand that pitching helps get you there, obviously. And can you just replace Dylan Cease with just some guy for 10 or 11 starts and feel comfortable with it? I would say yes, based on the way he's pitched this year. So, I mean, I can be convinced of any of them. I don't think any of those players are off limits. If you can upgrade your team by getting rid of Jake Cronenworth, do it. If you can upgrade your team by getting rid of Dylan Cease, who's a rental, do it. That's how I look at it.
So Buster Olney tweeted out earlier this morning about the interest in Dylan Cease around the league, and then mentioned another player that the Padres could go after to replace Cease in the rotation, and that's right. Charlie Morton.
Yep. This
year, Charlie Morton's 5-8 with a 5.58 ERA.
So close enough to Dylan Cease.
The same.
I mean, that's probably some of the worst numbers in baseball. 5.58 for a starter. That's not good.
And he pitches in the American League, and
he's 4T, right?
Yeah, and he pitches in the American League East, so it's tougher, with those ballparks, and so, right. And he has way better postseason success than Dylan Cease. And I mean, like, way better.
Right. He's also old. I mean, really
I get
old.
It.
I mean, John Heyman followed up within the hour and saying that not only are the Padres listening on Cease, the Yankees, Mets, Cubs, and Red Sox are among the teams that have checked in. San Diego's a buyer, but often listens on rentals. And then he wrote major long shot. Exclamation point.
See, that wouldn't make much sense to me if you traded Dylan Cease to a competitor in the National League.
True, but half of those two, you're right. But the Yankees and Red Sox are listed, but I agree.
Like,
although maybe you would. Here, guys, you want them?
Yeah, here you go.
Throw them in game one against us, so we can beat up on them.
It's so difficult because the Cease has shown flashes, and he does have good stuff, but he is not returning to this team
next year.
He is not a good postseason pitcher. He has been wildly inconsistent this year. And the problems with this team aren't the pitching staff. Even with Dylan Cease's almost 5 ERA. It's the offense. Like we said today, Dylan Cease was not the reason they lost today. He did not go out there and pitch a bad game. He made some mistakes, and he was frustrating to watch at times, walking the players that he would walk. But the team needs to put up some runs.
Yeah, I mean, it's like two things are true. Like, you shouldn't walk the first two batters of a game, which proves costly for one of the runs you allow. Yes, there was an error from Machado, but you also allowed the home run to Jesus Sanchez.
Yep.
But no, you're right. I mean, I think it starts with the offense, but Dylan Cease isn't making it any easier for any of us.
Nope.
Let's go to the phones here. We will hear from Mike Schilt momentarily. Let's go to Eric on line one. If you want to weigh in, by the way, we'd love to hear from you. Your thoughts on the deadline, the team's play, 3-3 since the break. This idea of 43-19 in the second half like last year, that's not happening. 877-767-4760. Eric, you're on with Jon and Jim.
Hey, guys. Once again, thanks for taking the call. Love listening when I get the chance. I got two things. One is an obvious observation, right? Padres scoring offense. I think we've only scored more than Pittsburgh and Colorado in the National League. And then the second thing is, now bear with me here. What do you guys think about 80.5 wins total for the Padres, over under, considering the schedule in August, where we got the Giants twice, the Dodgers twice. We got the Cardinals and Mets coming up towards the end of July. Then the Cardinals again, the Mariners. I mean, so you guys think 80.5 wins over under? Just wanted to hear your take on that.
Did you say
80 or 89?
80.5.
Okay,
No,
8-0.
over.
Thanks,
I mean,
Eric.
I understand the sentiment, and thanks for look at it this way. Since 14-3, this still holds true. They're 3 games under, but they have 60 games remaining. Even if they played under 500, 29-31, to Eric's point, 29-31 is 84 wins. For them to not exceed 80, they would have to go 25-35. I mean, that would be an absolute disaster. I'm not saying it's impossible. His point is valid. I mean, it's possible, but what's more likely to me is they play like they've played, which is like a 500 team, not a 14-3 team, and then they're staring at 84, 85 wins. I find it unlikely that this team finishes the year under 500. They're 55-47, and they play the Colorado Rockies 7 times in September and other bad teams.
And the White Sox 3 times and the Orioles 3 times.
So if they go 25-35, then they go into their offseason with questions about who's in charge.
I think their floor is 83, 84 wins. I think their ceiling is 90, 91 wins. That's where I think this team is either going to be one or the other, or they could be in between that. And and then you're just hoping that, you get a playoff spot.
Right.
But if you get to 90, 91 wins, I think you're guaranteed to make the postseason. Yep. With the expanded postseason, no team that's won 90 games in a season in the National League has missed the postseason.
Right.
84 wins, 85 wins, you're going to need some help. And you're going to have to cross your fingers because there's no guarantee that you'd make the postseason to 84, 85 wins. But I think that's realistically where this team falls into, between 83 and 90, 91 wins.
Right. 25-35 is 80. 35-25 is 90. I'd be shocked if they won more than 90. Mm-hmm. I'd be shocked if they won fewer than 80. And I'm with you. Realistically, you're talking about 84, not great baseball from here on out. 90, pretty darn good baseball from here on out.
Yeah.
We'll hear from Shild on the other side. Padres lose in Miami. Plus, Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 3:30. Mark Neville, CEO at Sports San Diego, will join us coming up at 4:30. We'll talk about that newly announced NASCAR race coming to Coronado, Father's Day 2026, that weekend. Again, we'll hear from Kevin Acee at 3:30. This is Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres lose to the Marlins today, 3-2. Padres lost 2 of 3 in this series. They're 3-3 on their 10-game road trip. Next up, they'll finish off the road trip with a 4-game series in St. Louis starting tomorrow afternoon. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
All right, let's hear from Mike Shield. I haven't heard this yet. This was Mike Shield postgame. We had a meeting postgame, so I've not heard from Mike Shield postgame. Will he tip his cap to the former Cy Young Award winner who came with a 7.14 ERA, who had not gone 7 innings in any game this year, who had allowed 22 earned runs in his last 23 innings coming in?
Is that good?
22 earned runs in his last 23 innings coming in made the Padres look like the AA Padres here today. Anyway, let's hear from Mike Shield, who starts by commenting on Sandy Alcantara.
He looked like the Sandy Alcantara that, is one more of the Cy Young Sandy. Thought he was really good. All 3 arms really good. I mean, really all their starters were fantastic. Perez, Cabrera, and Sandy today. And I thought Sandy was really good. More command of the baseball. Everything was coming out a little easier for him, and it was going where he wanted. I thought he threw the ball exceptionally well.
What did you think of Dylan today?
I thought Dylan had really good stuff. I mean, I had the privilege to sit there and watch and realize that, man, I got 2 guys out there competing. Dylan and Sandy with I just turned to Espo, our bench coach, went, wow, these arms, So I thought that was coming out really good with Dylan. He just wasn't able to. I'm looking up the stats, so hold on. Thanks, I found it for your benefit, but I'm not going to share it with you. Just the self-inflicted. The walks got him early. We kind of hurt ourselves. We're playing a lot of games where we don't have a lot of margin for error, and we play a lot of really clean games. And today we gave away a little bit too much that cost us.
Dylan's season on the whole, I mean, he's obviously had this kind of stuff a lot. For him not to have the results numbers wise, how much does that surprise you?
It's surprising, but I do feel like he's kept us outside of one game early in Sacramento. And even that game, there was a lot of, not taking away because they earned it more than earned it, but it wasn't like he was getting hit all over the ballpark.
Yes, he was.
He's given us a chance. The expectations are high for Dylan, and but he's given us a chance to win a game. I mean, we look up and we, shoot, they scored 3 runs. A couple, one of them was unearned. So if Dylan can continue to throw the ball, keep us in games, we'll reward it more than we will typically that we haven't yet to this part of the season.
Was it as simple with Sandy being sharp and looking like that guy, or how do you reconcile with what his season has been like to now? What could you guys have done differently
with Sandy?
Yeah.
I mean, it's when the guy's hitting his spots, throwing in command of what he's doing. I didn't feel like we were throwing at bats away. I feel like he's making quality pitches. I feel like guys were in the competition. So it's hard to say that. I mean, literally if 3 to 4 balls go 10 feet either way, we're seeing something differently, and that's the hard part of this game, right? Is so if I saw something that was glaring that said we could have done something differently, I'd definitely share that with you.
Hey, Rice, so you all right after the collision? 2 DH days is why
just a little banged up with the knees. Just I wanted to, need more bone than anything else. Just day game, night game. Just keep him in there. DH. I expect him to be back at first sooner than later.
If we just had 3 or 4 balls hit 10 feet either way.
How could you say that?
If we just had more people listening, we'd have better ratings. I mean, Right? If I just lifted more weights, I'd be stronger. I mean,
if I just had
10 feet.
If I just had $10 million more, I'd be rich.
It's a game of inches or it's the game of like 5 yards. Like nobody's ever said like, you know what? We got outgained by 150 yards. Like if it wasn't for those 100 yards, we were right in the 10 feet.
10
What does
feet?
that even mean if we hit the ball 10 feet to the left or right? Isn't that called baseball? Like you hit the ball. If there's a fielder there, it's not good. If there isn't a fielder there, it's good.
Do you think Mike Schilt watching these games from the dugout, he's like, man.
They said, wow.
I know. He has the privilege to watch
Alcantara.
Like,
I had the privilege to sit there and watch. And
these guys have both been bad this year. I mean, Alcantara's been awful.
Yeah.
And Cease has been like, let's be honest, he's been mid at best.
Yeah.
He's been very average. The privilege of watching guys that have combined for like a 6.22 ERA.
The back of Dylan Cease's baseball card for 2025, unless he has like a 1 ERA for the rest of the season, it's not going to say, man, he would have been better if the ball was, caught more than not. Like it doesn't make sense. Like, oh, he just had some bad luck. Like if the ball,
wait, was the bad luck that Cease allowed the hits, and if the hits were 10 feet one way or the other, they would have been caught? Or was the bad luck that the Padres hit the ball, and if they hit them 10 feet one way or the other, they would have fallen in?
Who knows anymore with this team and Mike Schilt?
I mean, I don't blame some of the stuff he's saying. You said it, I think, when I was gone, and people have said this about what Schilt was saying when he's like using Trenton Brooks and Bryce Johnson and Tyler Witt. There is a little bit of a cry for help element in there.
For sure.
You have a Trenton Brooks as one of your first bench pieces, and he's 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. Since the Dodgers home run, which we pretend like was like a game 6 of the NLDS moment, it wasn't. Like, okay, you homered at Dodger Stadium. Like, congratulations. Mm-hmm. Like, since that moment.
That's his career highlight.
Since that moment, how many hits does he have? In how many opportunities? He's hit 100.
1 or 2.
Yeah, he's hit 100 since that moment. It's not because of Trenton Brooks. It's not personal at all. It's an indictment on the Padres and their depth and the organization to roll out this bench for 3 months and expect them to come up with big hits in those spots. It's not happening. It hasn't happened. And I don't know if you can turn over your entire bench in 1 week, but that should basically be a goal of AJ Preller right now, because this isn't working, obviously, with your bench.
Like, let's go through this scenario, all right? In that spot today where he pinch hit Trenton Brooks.
Okay.
I'll give you the options. You have to pick one. Trenton Brooks, Bryce Johnson, Martin Maldonado, or Jose Iglesias. Who are you picking?
Had Iglesias already come through with the pinch hit single?
He might have.
He had.
So, okay, Bryce Johnson, Trenton Brooks, or Martin Maldonado. Who you picking, John?
Guess what? He's your lefty. He's your big left-handed bat off the bench. So when the situation calls for him, that's what makes it so egregious. He's put into games representing a tying or go-ahead run. It's happened back-to-back days. By the way, Manny Machado could fail to come through there. We get it. You get a 350 and not hit 65% of the time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like you're asking for a good result with a guy that has hit 138 in his big league career and has had 65 at-bats in his career. Like, why with this journeyman? And it's not a disservice to him. It's not Trenton Brooks' fault at all. It's the organization's fault. Yeah. It is. And now the fact that their head is above water is to their credit. They're 55-47. Maybe they can overcome this. Maybe they can make that addition to their bench. You tell me, Marcelo Zuna, Luis Robert Jr., a slugger off the bench does not exist right now. And they absolutely need to add one. It doesn't seem like the hardest thing in the world, but they've rolled out Trenton Brooks for 2 months. And it seems like it's been at least a month too long.
Oh, it's been 2 months too long.
I agreed.
If the option was Trenton Brooks, you have no option. You have to figure out a way to upgrade that position.
Mm-hmm.
If they went out and they got Luis Robert Jr. and Adolis Garcia, those are just 2 names I've been throwing out there, right? 2 right-handed bats. You're going to have someone on your bench that you can go to late in the game, whether it be Gavin Sheets if he gets a day off, whether it be Luis Robert or Adolis Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Because going forward, if you got those 2 bats, let's just talk this through, then one of them will be your DH. And then the other of Gavin Sheets or Adolis Garcia or Luis Robert would be in left field.
Yep.
That would mean one of them would always be on the bench, and there would be a rotation of players. Maybe they're all in the game at once, but that would mean Gavin Sheets would have to play first base, and then one of the outfielders have to play left field, and the others at your DH. You can have that, but more often than not, if you keep Jake and you keep Luis or I don't know how this would all work, but one of those players would be at first base along with Jake at second. So you have Arise at first, you have Jake at second. Let's just go Gavin Sheets in left, and let's just go Adolis Garcia as your DH. Then you got Luis Robert Jr. as a player off your bench,
who's hit 38 home runs in a season.
Right.
Trent Brooks has hit one in a career.
Well, exactly. And then you just cycle it. So if there's a lefty on the mound, maybe you have Gavin Sheets on the bench.
Right. And if there's a righty on the mound, yeah.
And there's a righty on the mound, then maybe you have Luis Robert Jr. on the bench.
Right. Yeah.
So you can then cycle that. And I'm not saying you need to upgrade every single position on the bench.
Not going to be able to do it.
Because you can't do it. But if you can upgrade one where at least you have one bat that can come off the bench in a late game situation that you feel comfortable with, that's not Trent Brooks or that's not Bryce Johnson or Elias Diaz or Tyler Wade, even though Wade wasn't getting any bats until today, that just changes a lot of different things.
I'm at your Shilt. You're like looking down that bench.
Damn.
Let me see who's available to
it's
me.
Like Bryce,
Is
Trent,
someone
Brooksy.
not here?
Yeah.
I feel for him. I mean, he's handcuffed. Mike Shilt doesn't decide who's on the team.
No, well, he does for the catching position.
But honestly, Mike Shilt isn't responsible for the offseason moves and the trade deadline. I mean, Mike Shilt's got to work with what's on the 26-man roster. And right now what's happening on this 26-man roster is not working offensively. All right, let's get into some of these possible additions that are being rumored at this hour. We're talking about Charlie Morton, the veteran, or Stephen Kwan, who's not necessarily a power hitter, but is a hitter, which is something the Padres do need. Plus, are the Padres looking to get an arm back in time for the postseason should they make it? We'll discuss. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, tonight at 6 right here on San Diego Sports 760, SDFC Midweek Live. Darren Smith, Adrian Garcia Marquez in studio. We'll hear from the head coach, Mikey Varis. You'll find out the latest on SDFC during Midweek Live every Wednesday at 6 on your home for San Diego FC, San Diego Sports 760.
Did you know the MLS All-Star game is today, John?
I did, and it's a must-win is how I'm looking at it. Now, who are they playing? Is it MLS versus MLS?
No, John, it's not.
So they're playing a club.
Liga MX.
It's Liga MX All-Stars against MLS All-Stars?
Correct.
I like that.
Now, I was at the performance facility today. Mikey Varis did not sound happy that the All-Star game was during the week and then they have a
day before their match.
And then they have a match on Friday.
And that's what I was saying the other day. I'm like, it doesn't seem to be ideal timing. You'd think you get at least 2 days off. You have 1 day off.
Yeah, he was the anti-shill. He was like, yeah, this is difficult for us.
Especially a Friday match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, Saturday match, Wednesday, Saturday. You're traveling from, where is this game?
Texas.
I mean, you're traveling a couple-hour flight.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a quick turnaround and you play Nashville on Friday.
Yeah, so, and it's not just like, oh, they're missing one guy. They're missing three of their starters. Which
means maybe some of those guys come Friday or coming off the bench or limited in their availability.
Well, they're expected to come back tomorrow afternoon.
But do they all start?
It's a good question.
Yeah,
they Mikey said today, it was like, it's a little difficult because we had to mix and match and didn't have enough players out there to run a full practice.
Okay, All-Star game tonight. San Diego FC, Nashville FC, Friday night. By the way, be listening for a goal call. And when you hear it, you can qualify to win 2 free tickets for Friday night. We'll qualify someone in the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 5 o'clock hours and announce a winner at 5:30, which means our first qualifier is coming any moment now. You're going to hear that goal call from Adrian Garcia Marquez. Then you're going to call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify to win 2 free tickets to see SDFC Friday night at Snapdragon Stadium. All right, so the day got started with Buster Olney reporting on Dylan Cease that the Padres are listening. We've now heard also from Olney that the Padres, what did he say specifically about Charlie Morton, that they would have interest potentially?
Yeah, let me pull this up here.
What's the exact tweet say?
So the exact tweet is the Padres have talked to the Orioles about Charlie Morton. So maybe the plan is to add a starter like Morton if Cease is dealt for other assets.
Okay, that makes sense. And here is a guy that has just pitched and pitched and pitched for forever. He's 41. He'll turn 42 in November. And Jim gave you the numbers earlier. They're not good, but they're not, negative 0.5 WAR. He's just a replacement level starter at this point. The other name that's come up today is Stephen Kwan. He's actually come up beyond today because Jeff Passan wrote about him. The good with Stephen Kwan is he's a good hitter. The bad with Stephen Kwan is he's a left-handed hitter that doesn't hit for power. So he is a good hitter. He is a very solid overall hitter who has had a good career OPS. He's been a better than average major league hitter throughout the course of his career. He hits for no power. He never has. He never will. And he's a left-handed batter. So goes back to the creative conversation. Does creative mean filling a circle with a square? Because that's how I would see Stephen Kwan in the equation of the trade deadline for the Padres.
You know who Stephen Kwan is?
Yeah, he's Stephen Kwan.
I know he's Stephen Kwan.
Oh. Poor man's Luis Ariz.
Yes.
Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Better. He plays better defense, so his WAR numbers are up. Left field, he's won multiple Gold Gloves.
Right. So, okay, that's helpful.
But offensively, he is a poor man's Luis Ariz.
Which is a good hitter.
It's a fine hitter, good hitter, nothing spectacular. But here's the thing, he doesn't strike out a lot. Now, he does walk more than Luis Ariz, but not a ton.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 36 walks on the year and only 35 strikeouts. So that's a good ratio there. It's in 285 with a 741 OPS. His career slug, John, is 395.
Yeah. So he's never been, he's there to get on base.
To me, I want some pop. I want a bat that has the threat of a home run. This team this year is 27th in baseball in home runs.
How are they that high?
How are they that low?
But I'm seriously, it feels like they never homer.
They never homer, and they have home run power up and down their lineup. Jackson Merrill, Gavin Sheets, Manny, Toddy, and they're 27th in homers in baseball. So for me, I'm looking at a power bat. Stephen Kwan would be a really good addition, no doubt about it. But like, they need pop in their lineup. They need a threat.
Did you see the tweet earlier today that it didn't really directly tie to the Padres, but it tells the story on the Padres since the Devers trade? Did you see that?
I did not.
Since the Devers trade, this has nothing to do with the Padres specifically. Since the Devers trade, who has the honor of having scored the fewest runs in baseball?
The Giants?
The Padres.
Oh.
And they've played more games than the teams that are second worst and third worst. The Padres have scored 110 runs in their last 31 games. That's since Rafi Devers was traded. Again, it doesn't directly have anything to do with the Padres, but they do have the fewest runs scored. The Giants have the third fewest runs scored since the Devers trade. The Pirates have the second fewest runs scored. The Padres have scored 110 runs in their last 31 games, I think, coming in. Include today, it's 112 runs in their last 32 games, well under 4 runs per game. The fewest runs scored in baseball over the last 32 games. That honor, that dubious honor belongs to the San Diego Padres.
So funny. I'm seeing managers across the sport, and I don't want to get into like the Mike Schilt thing, but it's like Dave Roberts the other day is like, we just need to be better. Our main guys need to be better.
He's probably right.
Bob Melvin has said the same thing. Like, we need to be better. Mike Schilt, hey, we're trending upwards. Like, Mike, what are you watching?
Like, not according to this.
The offense is a major problem with the team, and it continues to be a major problem with this team. Are they a playoff team as constructed right now if they made no moves? Maybe.
Yeah, it's testing my theory, right?
Well, yesterday I said yes, so I can't flip-flop after just one game.
It's kind of two, though, because yesterday here, they hadn't lost yesterday.
I think that if this team made no moves, they can make it as the 6th seed. But no higher. No higher.
But they can, you're right, but they can also miss out.
Yeah, but they still would have a chance to make it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not saying they have to make a move just to make the postseason. What I'm saying is, in order to make a run in the postseason, yeah, multiple moves are necessary for sure. And to also, better your chances at locking up a playoff spot. So making moves to better your chances to make the postseason and to give you an opportunity to go deep into October. Right now, as this team is constructed, they're not a deep into October type of team, especially with the way the offense has been playing.
But also, are they a move or two away of being able to actually say that?
They were last year, and we didn't know it at the time, but those 3 moves they made, or the 4 moves with, Martin Perez, we didn't see him in the postseason.
Yeah, 5. They made 5 trades.
But Tanner Scott and Jason Adam especially, those 2 guys alone gave everybody the confidence. Now they played much better as a club, but adding those 2 guys to the team, dude, we were thinking long run in postseason, were we not?
We were, but it goes back to it's like we're running in circles because it goes back to, well, the reason they got there is Machado turned his season around, right?
Yeah, Merrill had an amazing second half. His August was incredible.
Tatis played well in September and October.
Yeah,
but
Tatis
you're right.
was Tatis of old.
But you're right.
A month.
Those additions were key additions for the Padres last year. Kevin Acee will join us at 3:30. Do the Padres have a pitcher coming back that could help save them in the second half of the year or in the postseason if they get to it in 2025? We'll discuss on the other side. Kevin Acee at 3:30. Mark Neville. Okay. Call 877-767-4760 to qualify to win 2 free tickets to see SDFC on Friday night. Call that number right now. 877-767-4760. Hour 2 of Jon and Jim comes your way next on San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples. We'll start with the Padres. They lost to the Marlins today, 3-2. They lost the series to the Marlins, 2-1. They're 3-3 on their 10-game road trip. They'll finish up the 10-game road trip in St. Louis with the 4-game series starting tomorrow afternoon. How many times have we all said that was easy? Well, the Staples Easy button is back, and it's got everyone saying it again for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos, plus quality products delivered next day to over 98% of the U.S. Staples. That was easy.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider from South Florida, will hop on at 3:30. Talk to Mark Neville, CEO of Sports San Diego, at 4:30 about that debut race coming to Coronado for NASCAR. He'll join us coming up at 4:30. Also, be listening for that goal call from Adrian Garcia Marquez. You can qualify to win 2 free tickets to see SDFC back home on Friday night. This from Kevin Acee, who will join us coming up in about 25 minutes. This was always predictable.
You called it.
I knew this. We were days away from this. Kevin writing in his newsletter that Joe Musgrove is expecting to throw his first full intensity bullpen session next week. He plans to be available to work an inning or two out of the bullpen by the time the postseason begins. So Joe Musgrove was always trying to check boxes. He's always trying to hit goals and strive to do something quicker than the next guy. And I credit him for that. This was so predictable. He didn't undergo Tommy John until the end of October because he actually had the arm injury in October last year. So if he were to return and throw out of the bullpen before the postseason begins, he'd be doing it in about 10 or 11 months. Nobody comes back from Tommy John any sooner than that, ever. I just don't understand the need, truthfully. You have a bullpen that's been good. Why would a guy do everything in his power to return and speed up his timeline from Tommy John when you could have a whole nother offseason to get ready for 2026? And I think the answer is Joe Musgrove. This is who Joe Musgrove is. He thinks he's helping the team. I just wonder if it's hurting his cause of being fully ready to go to start the 2026 season.
The dude is the ultimate competitor. He when healthy, there aren't many pitchers on the Padres that I would choose. Maybe there aren't any pitchers on the Padres I would choose to put in a big game over Joe. He's just a guy that is going to go out there and compete. He's going to battle. And he's just you trust him in a big game situation when healthy. With that all being said, someone's going to need to take his glove away because. No, I'm sorry. You can ramp up your bullpens and you can start throwing 100% or close to it and whatnot. But in a actual live game in the potentially the postseason, no shot, none. That they're going to have to, and they will. I would be very shocked if he gets on a big league mound this year. The organization is not going to put him in that position, even though Joe's going to be campaigning to do that. But they're going to need to take away his glove and take away the ball and be like, look, Joe, we love you, but we need you for next year. We need you fully healthy for next season.
All right. So Kevin writes, recovery from elbow reconstruction can take up to 18 months. Less than 24 major league pitchers have ever returned inside of a year.
Yeah. Don't stop.
So what's the thing is there isn't really some hurry. I mean, in some fake theoretical world, we're like, man, we have this big injury that we want to overcome, and now Joe Musgrove is going to be inserted into that role. They've held leads. They've had a good bullpen. Why would you turn to him? Everything they've done, this has been their strength. They turn to their bullpen in the 5th inning and hold 1-run leads, and they've done it routinely. And if he were to return, let's say, and throw an inning the final weekend of the regular season, and it's a scoreless inning and it's against whomever they're playing, now you're fully confident that you're going to put him on your 26-man roster because he threw an inning September. I mean, that makes absolutely no sense.
Imagine game 3. They're like, Joe, you're up.
Honestly, I'm already concerned about how he looks when the 2026 season starts.
Right.
There's a whole process here to find your command again. It takes time to look like the pitcher you were. Listen, Tommy John's an amazing procedure.
It is.
There are guys that come back and have amazing careers after the surgery, look like themselves or even better than themselves, increased velocity. But there's other guys that struggle. Look at Sandy Alcantara, right? Removed from Tommy John, ineffective with his command. I mean, he looked like Sandy Alcantara today, but you get the point. I mean, I'm not expecting Joe Musgrove when he returns in 2026 to immediately hit the ground running like the all-star caliber pitcher that he was at, earlier in his career.
That's why next year it's just so up in the air with this rotation, especially because you got one guy that you can trust with Nick Pivetta.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows about you, Darvish, and who knows about Joe Musgrove. Other than that, you're losing Cease, you're losing King. Good luck. And if you trade away like Ryan Berger this trade deadline,
right? He's like a piece of your future
potentially.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Like next year's rotation could look like guys that you've developed in your system. You could be counting heavily again on Berger, Kolick, Vasquez. I don't know what the system looks like right now with their top pitching prospects in terms of how close they are to the major leagues, but I wonder if it is a bit of a youth movement coinciding with an aging Darvish and an aging, recovering Joe Musgrove, I guess. I mean, you got Nick Pivetta, thankfully.
Yeah.
For another year.
But you're going to need more than that.
Yeah, you're going to need a lot more than that. You're right.
And Nick Pivetta, in his career as a 4 ERA guy, can you put together back-to-back great seasons for you? Potentially.
But it was death, taxes, and an article about Joe Musgrove coming back for the postseason.
100%.
Like it was if there wasn't an article about Joe Musgrove angling to come back for September or October, I would have been shocked. And I knew we were just days away from that. And we get that here today. And again, I give him credit. He should strive to return as quickly as he can. And then to your point, the organizations say, give me the ball, give me the glove. Great job. Now you have a full off season to get ready for April.
619 says, I think the Joe thing is kind of dumb, but the team gave him $100 million and he's working his ass off to be available for them. It doesn't feel like eyewash to me, and I respect that, but take the season off, Joe.
Yeah, I think all that is accurate.
Yeah, I believe that Joe is working his ass off to get back as soon as possible because, like I said, he is the ultimate competitor. The ultimate competitor. He wants the ball every fifth day. He wants to be on that mound in a big game situation. He doesn't shy away from the pressure or the big game moment. And that's what I love about Joe. But also there are times when it's like, Joe, take a step back. It's okay. And that's where the organization has to come in and put their foot down and not let the player run this rehab. It has to be the other way around. They decide when Joe gets back out there, not Joe.
The other part of the conversation is even next year, if he is healthy, and I think he will be, he's not throwing 180 innings. He went back-to-back years, 180 innings. Then his last 2 years, 97 innings, 99 innings, a year off. So, and now off Tommy John. They'll be very careful.
Oh, my gosh.
They'll have complete kid gloves on for a lengthy period of time. Everything works out beautifully. Maybe you're in the low 100s. You're managing your way to 120, 125 innings next year. But this is a guy that for 3 years in the big leagues, 170 innings, 181 innings, 181 innings. You are at least another calendar year away from that. He's only under contract through 2027. Next year is his fourth year of the deal. The year after, 2027, is the fifth year. The next conceivable time you see Joe Musgrove take the ball 31 times and throw 180 innings is 2027. Which is the last year of his contract with the Padres. And
no one wants to talk about it, but the contract that he has signed, it's been a failure of a contract, unfortunately.
Yeah, what are the numbers since 2022? Did he sign it?
He signed it in the middle of the 2020 season.
So that means it would have kicked off for 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only made 36 starts.
Yeah, not good.
And again, the health part of it is like, that's just part of it. When he's been out there, he's been fine, but he hasn't been out there.
No.
Best availability is your availability.
Best ability is your availability.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That too. So yeah, that's the problem with giving pitchers 5-year contracts.
And that's why you don't really see this organization give out long-term deals to pitchers. And when they do, it's not the big $200 million deals. That's why to think that Michael King could return kind of feels like a pipe dream. Hope I'm wrong. Dylan Cease, thank you, but good luck elsewhere is definitely my opinion on him. And going forward, they're signing contracts like they did with Nick Pivetta is the smart play for pitchers nowadays. Like giving a pitcher a long-term deal, it could work out in the short term, but over the course of a contract, more often than not, it doesn't work how you think it's going to work.
The hard part with like a Musgrove, and listen, Joe Musgrove has done a lot for this organization.
Yes.
He really has, and it's not a crazy deal. I mean, you could even
it's
argue
not.
there was
$20 million a year,
yeah,
for sure.
But like, you're kind of in a tough spot from an organization, because I think the argument, and I probably made the argument, was like, I mean, this is your local guy who's an anchor of your team, not just your rotation. He's like a team first guy, and if you can get him for 20 a year, I mean, from a starting pitching perspective, it's reasonable.
I thought the deal when he signed it was great.
I agree, but again, it just proves that these are hard deals from an organization perspective. The Darvish deal, it wasn't that much per year, truthfully, for a starting pitcher, but it's also looking like a bad deal.
Yeah, that
obviously,
yeah, when Musgrove signed that 5-year, $100 million deal, at the time I'm like, yo, this looks good. This is kind of a steal, because I thought he was going to sign for closer to like 130, 140, maybe even 150 million the way he was pitching. You know, I thought he was a 25 to $30 million pitcher.
And he may have been on the open market.
Probably.
Never know.
But the thing that Joe said, he's like, I can live with 100 million. I'm good with that. And he, at the end of the day, probably took a discount. And thankfully he did, because if the contract was any larger and these things still would have happened, it would have been even way worse.
It's a really good point. It is. Kevin Acee is going to join us coming up at 3:30. More on what he's hearing with the trade deadline approaching. Padres have a big series coming up in St. Louis. The Cardinals have been scuffling. They'll play 4 games in St. Louis beginning tomorrow. St. Louis today, listen to this, shut out in Denver. It's not even possible. Rockies with a shutout for the first time in forever. Rockies shutting out the Cardinals today. The Cardinals have fallen all the way back to 52-51. So we'll see if the Padres can pick themselves back up this weekend in St. Louis. Kevin Acee will join us at 3:30. We're giving away STFC tickets. Stay with us. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, be listening for that goal call. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify to win 2 free tickets to see SDFC on Friday night. We remind you also that we all remember that one teacher who made a difference, who believed in us, challenged us, or just made learning fun. Now's your chance to say thank you in a big way with iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding public school teacher who's gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. Kevin Acee in 10 minutes will join us, Jim, from South Florida, where the Padres are making their way now for St. Louis, where they'll be for the weekend. I mean, it's still a 3-3 trip. I think we said enter the second half, you go 5-5 on the road. You haven't really hurt your cause probably to reach the postseason. And, you know, it looked good for a few days. They were 3-1. It looked like maybe they could win back-to-back series. That's not the case. They're now 3-3 on this trip, and we'll see what they can do in St. Louis.
So if they go 5-5 on this trip, they take a series from the Mets, 2 out of 3 at home before the deadline. You are now 9 games over 500.
Yeah, if that happens.
9 games, yeah. Okay. I mean, it's not like the best in the world, but it's not the worst in the world, and they're keeping their head above water.
Very similar to last year in terms of record.
Then the real test comes in August.
Yep.
Caller earlier today, Eric, he was right. We've been talking about August, that schedule, man. It's difficult, especially with how they've played against good teams this year, teams over 500. You play a lot of teams over 500 in August. The Red Sox, the Giants twice, the Dodgers twice.
Yeah.
The Twins, I think, just took a series from the Dodgers up in LA, or they're about to. Or
well, they've come back from 2-0 down to take a lead, or 2-1 down to take a lead at Dodger Stadium in the 8th inning right now.
Okay. And then other teams you play in August, Seattle, they have your number in Seattle. The conclusion of the Vetter Cup. And then Arizona. In Arizona, and we all know how that place is for this team.
Right.
It's not like easy. So they gotta manage and navigate through August. And that's going to be difficult with how they're playing, which is just so back and forth. Game over 500 here, a couple games under 500 here. Like, they haven't been able to separate over the last couple months. They're just playing basically 500 baseball or worse.
Yeah, I mean, so let's actually do the exact math. So they're 14-3, and from then on,
who's 14-3?
The Padres. They're 14-3 at one point, and then they're 41-44 in their last 85 games. 85. That's over a half of a year. It's not even 2 months anymore. It's 3 months. For the last 3 months, they're 41-44. I would guess that trajectory to finish the season, you're out. That's basically 29-31 to finish. You're out. Like 29 wins is 84. You're out.
Yeah.
There's a very good chance you're out. Shoot, 30-30 to finish, 85 wins. You're out potentially. 31-29, you're out potentially. 32-28. We don't know. Like, they got it. It's as simple as that. Like, the 14-3 team, where are you? You're well gone. Like, the ship sailed. It's been 85 games. Is there anything you can actually do if you're AJ Preller to go find that team at the deadline? I don't know.
I think we might see the version of the team that they want in September, because September schedule really lightens up for them.
True.
I think it's still going to be a grind to get through August. The dog days are no joke, even with the acquisitions they're going to make at the trade deadline. But getting through August is the season. If they stumble in August and if they have a bad month, I don't know exactly how many games there are. So wait, 31, they have 28 games in August. Say they go, help me here. Say they go 12-16.
Yeah, good job.
So they go 12-16 in August. Is that good enough?
No.
That's a very real possibility that could happen. If they go 13-15 in August, is that good enough?
You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself in September.
And that's the thing, is you get to September and you get to play your ass off.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know because you don't know what the other teams are going to do. Like, I'm assuming some of these teams that are falling off are sellers, maybe like the St. Louis's or even the Cincinnati's or certainly
But not right now.
the Arizonas.
They're 3.5 back or 3 back of the Padres for the final wild card spot.
Who's that? Cincy or St. Louis?
St. Louis. Do you think they're just going to give up right now at the trade deadline?
I mean, they've been awful.
They might not make like any big moves, but
yeah, maybe not. I mean, they're 52 and 51. Yeah, sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, like, are we getting in?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be making like big time moves.
Yeah, but you're right. Their season isn't over. You're 100% right. It's almost like some of this is like, are you just in because everyone else is out? like who are the real challengers in the National League to San Diego? I guess the Giants. They're a significant challenger. Maybe Cincinnati or St. Louis. That's it. I mean, there's like a team.
Mm-hmm.
There's basically like a team or two that's a challenger. If you just do your job, if you just play to your expectations, like you said with September, just play to your expectations, you'll probably be a playoff team. Don't fall on your face is basically all they had. That's what they had to not do after 14-3. Just don't fall on your face. You're going to be a playoff team. And the problem is they're kind of stumbling.
They're stumbling, but they haven't fallen on their face fully.
No, you're right.
They've at times almost fell on their face.
You're right.
But they have not yet. 41 and 44 since the 14-3 start.
Isn't falling on your face.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
Right.
You're going to, at some point in your season, have 50 wins and 50 losses. The team last year was 50 and 50.
True.
So if you, it's what you do in the other 62 games, like we've always said, that matters the most. And if they have a stretch, they're 41 and 44 right now. If they go 9 and 6 over their next 15, that's a good record.
Mm-hmm.
They're 50 and 50 in the last 100 games. Now it's about what you do in the final 62. And 17 of those, you went 14 and 3.
Right.
So how do you manage the rest? But they have to have at least one more stretch in them. Like one more 12 and 5 stretch, I feel like. It's not like crazy to think that they could do that. 12 and 5, you can do that. They have a 12 and 5 stretch, coupled with a 14 and 3 start, with playing just 500 baseball the rest of the way.
They'll be in.
You'll be good.
They just need to go 12 and 5 at some point from here on out. We'll see if they can do it. All right, on the other side, Kevin Acee, the latest from Miami. Our Padres Insider joins us. Padres lose a series in Miami. They're off for St. Louis. They'll open a 4-gamer at Busch Stadium tomorrow. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples Stores. Padres lose to the Marlins today, 3-2. They lose the series 2-1. They're 3-3 on their 10-game road trip out of the first half. They have a 4-game series to wrap up their 10-game road trip starting in St. Louis tomorrow afternoon. And of course, the trade deadline is next week. How many times have we all said that was easy? Well, the Staples Easy button is back, and it's got everyone saying it again for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos, plus quality products delivered next day to over 98% of the U.S. Staples. That was easy.
All right. Kevin's never-ending road trip continues. He joins us once again from Miami. Kevin Acee, Padres Insider. You're still there, right, Kevin? When did you leave for St. Louis? Tonight or tomorrow?
Yeah, tonight.
Okay, you'll leave tonight for St. Louis. We appreciate you hopping on. How do you think? And I heard your question for Mike Shield postgame about Sandy Alcantara. How can we rationalize Alcantara pitching as poorly as he's pitched? Not just for the year, but recently. I mean, he's been awful in his last 4 outings, like a 9 ERA, and then he does this today. Is that quote unquote just baseball? Is it an indictment on the Padres or a full credit to Sandy Alcantara?
Can it be all of it? Like the best thing I can say about the Padres is if I was watching this game in April or May and I saw them get it shoved up their backside like Sandy Alcantara did today, I would be like, man, that guy, he was really good. You know, not much you can do about that. But 2 things. Sandy Alcantara's numbers in the course of the season, and he's actually been worse recently, as you mentioned. And number 2, you're tired, everyone's tired, I'm tired of talking about the offense facing a good pitcher and, you know, hey, that's baseball. So I'm going to give all of it because I do not want to take away. Like the Padres hitters were talking about, like having a curveball they hadn't seen. Like, I mean, this guy looked like that guy that I had seen pitch against the Padres and that everyone's seen, you know, on TV. Watch this guy shove. He was really good. He may yet be really good again. He's just been horrible this year. And then to see this happen today, hey, look what the Padres did to him last time. They did what everyone else did. And then he was different today. And, you know, they didn't get it done.
The reason why they lost today was not because of Dylan Cease. He pitched fine, you know, 5 innings, couple earned runs.
Oh, you've lowered your expectations, but go on.
Well, I was my point kept like they didn't lose because of him today, right?
Yeah.
Like
right.
I still think Dylan needs to be a lot better, obviously.
Yeah.
And going forward now, his name is now rumored out there in the trade market. Odds that he gets traded, in your opinion, odds that the Padres even look to trade him at the deadline. We've talked about this, like, well, how do you replace him? But his name is out there now. What's your gut feeling on this?
Obviously, I haven't heard his name. Like me personally, first person, I haven't been able to get it confirmed. Yes, they've taken calls on him. That really has never stopped. What slyly someone said, well, we'd have to get someone else. So, you know, I just don't see it happening. I mean, how do you, except for, I'm trying to say I don't see it happening, but like I'm also hearing and have been for weeks and now increasingly more. And now I've seen it out there as well that the Padres probably looking to swap some salary. Are they going to get real tricky here? Are we talking a 3-team trade? Are we talking like a series of trades where they get a really good pitcher? They let go of Dylan Cease. They move one of their right infielders. They get another right infielder. Like, I mean, I don't know. That would be the only way. You absolutely have to replace him. Where do you replace Dylan Cease's innings? And to give up on Dylan Cease now just seems strange. Also, I wonder what you're going to get. A team's going to pay, $4 million for 9-10 starts. It seems like that would be a difficult thing to swing for all those reasons.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. Can you further provide insight for our listeners when you write this? There's all sorts of chatter around the league about the Padres looking to swing big at the trade deadline to land a player who can give them some big swings, which obviously makes sense with an AJ Preller. But we've also talked about the lack of payroll flexibility, that this C word, this creative word. So like you just said, I mean, maybe it's something like a 3-team trade, or maybe it involves a major league player. But can you provide just additional insight when you write something like that?
Yeah, then, gosh, I forget. It was one of these trips that I was talking with someone, and who knows what's up. And they started talking about all these possibilities beyond left field and DH. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You've got people at those positions. And then you just start piecing things together. Because, look, I'm not Ken Rosenthal. People aren't calling me. And I'm not Ken Rosenthal where I'm calling Brian Cashman and he's picking up the phone. I don't have specifics for you. But I'm piecing together all the things that I've been hearing and saying they're looking and putting it with the very important caveat of they don't have a lot of money. And I flat out been told that, to add significant money, they have to subtract money. So I'm putting it all together and saying, wow, they're going to do something that just shocks us where, and I just try not to say names because then it's like, oh, well, I said this, but let's just say Jake Cronenworth, okay, who they'd never, ever stopped getting calls on because of the value that he brings because of his contract and what he produces. So let's say that it's him and you just freed up $12 million a year for the next 5 years, and you freed up $4 million this year. And now you've got some flexibility. Something like that could be like the domino to a series of moves that they make here in the next week.
How would that go over in the clubhouse if that were to happen?
First off, my resignation letter is in. One of the finest human beings ever. And I mean that beyond a baseball player. They'd survive. So I wanted to say that and say, like, it'll be a big hit. It will. And he's a good guy and he brings a lot, but they'd survive. I mean, that's just how it goes in the business. And they would want to know, obviously you make a trade like that. Believe me, they're not just giving Jake away for scraps. It would be a big deal. It might be that, I don't know. It might be the trade that, one of the biggest trades of the deadline is something like that if he's involved. So the Padres would get over it. I don't want to put too much on what it would do in a clubhouse. But I mean, it would be a hit. And then that's how professional athletes have been covering this a long time, been doing a lot of trade deadlines, off seasons where, oh my gosh. And I used to get so into, they're never going to get over this. Cause even some players in the moment will say, oh, this is brutal. No. And then, they're fine. It's business. But me, quite honestly, that's the first time I've even contemplated it. I mean, I'm honest. Like, I think he's that important to the Padres and I like him that much that I haven't even contemplated, even though I've been hearing it for weeks, that Jake Cronenworth could be gone.
Good insight. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, with us. So you write about Joe Musgrove today, which should come as no surprise for those that have followed Joe Musgrove. I mean, he's always trying to strive for goals and help his team, and I think he should be credited for that. So that's on one hand. But on the other hand, it's hard to come back from Tommy John in less than a year, and it's even harder to not just come back but be impactful for a team that's hoping to make a postseason or contend once they're in the postseason. So is this just striving for something, but is it attainable? Like, would Joe Musgrove returning in September or October help the Padres in their quest to win a World Series championship this year?
It's a great question. And it's something that not even Joe could answer. Right. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Joe is so honest that he'd be like the guy who said, guys, I suck. I'm not giving you any help here. As much as he's competitive, he's also a really honest and good self-evaluator. I feel like the little side notes, both that I've written and this conversation with Joe and others, that he is being realistic and that he is ahead of schedule. And like you said, this is the guy who went out and would drive 40 minutes both ways to go to a hyperbaric chamber when he dropped the kettlebell on his toe. All the other things he's pushed himself on, which are both good and, can be a little too much, right? So it's a valid question of, first off, is it good for him to push? And they're being very careful on that. I think it is. It is, based on everything I'm hearing. But your question about how valuable won't be known until he throws. I mean, it is hard to come back. Sandy Alcantara being one of the exhibits of evidence that it's difficult to come back from Tommy John surgery.
Is it fair to say now, or do we still have to wait for Fernando Tatis Jr.? Like, hey, this is just who he is, and maybe he'll have some moments here and there. But I mean, it's not great. I mean, his numbers over the start of the second half, he's got 3 hits. His last 30 games, his slugging percentage is .352. I'm kind of like very confused and baffled by watching Fernando Tatis play, because it's just at the plate, it's not the same guy.
I can tell that you are, because I've taken to on my drives down to the park listening to you guys. And generally, Jim, you're very certain of what you say, even when it's asinine.
Yes.
And and now you feel it sounds like you're very conflicted, and it seems to be an appropriate reaction to what we're watching here. I like to think I'm someone who I put things in context. Perspective is so huge to me that I will err on the side of being late to making an assessment, because I'm not going to do the hot take, right? That's just something I'm old. I'm just not going to do that. And I'm watching him. Now, here's the thing about that. I'll wait and I'll wait and I'll wait. And then once I make that decision, and based on what I see and who I talk to, I'm like pretty firm on it. Like, and this is how I feel. Like, I don't feel like this guy's dangerous when he comes to the plate anymore. Now, there's not a pitcher in the league that wouldn't tell me I'm wrong. They'd say, nope, that's Fernando Tatis Jr. We got to pitch him carefully. Then I say, man, you guys must be all pitching him really well, because I mean, it's rollover. It's first pitch rollover. There's some hard, but like, come on, I'm tired of that. Tired of hard ground balls being something that we're applauding. So I happen to think he's one of the best players in the league. I do, but I'm not sure how much longer I can hold on to that. I do want to accentuate the point that you made, which is every once in a while he's going to do something. Look, the guy's special. He's special. He almost him and Ellie De La Cruz the other night could have even come close in Washington to almost getting out of that rundown. That's special, but that's not why he's making $20 million now and will top out at 28 or 30 at some point in this $340 million contract. That is not what he's being paid for. That's a part of what he's being paid for. But I'm pretty sure he dipped under the 800 OPS again today.
The issue, like we've had this conversation so many times, it's like we're like in a wheel and we keep circling. I mean, basically it's our job to have these conversations. But I think that the issue is perception becomes reality. Like when you're a 965 OPS player through the 2021 season and you're a 799, I think that's right, player from 2023 on, it's like it's leading you down a path that I don't want to go down. But like the facts are the facts. It might be injury related. I mean, this guy for a 26-year-old, Kevin, he might have the body of a 36-year-old with the injuries that he's dealt with. But it's just, man, the further we get away from that 2019 through 2021, the more it feels like it's hard to get back to that player.
Yeah. And I mean, and I didn't get into this business. I don't think you guys did. I didn't get into this business to be that guy. Right. It's like, look at this. But yeah. But I am the guy who got into it to be honest and tell the story. And also there is a fact, like he got that contract and that means he's held to a standard and whatever, however unfair Mike Schilt wants to tell us it is, Mike Schilt knows it's fair. We're going to hold Fernando Tatis Jr. to that standard. And by the way, it's the standard Fernando Tatis Jr. holds himself to. So yeah, it's really something.
You think my takes are asinine, Kevin?
I do.
I think my takes are asinine sometimes. So yes, I'm just telling you. John's never. But you and I, we got some.
I go to the extremes.
I know we need to let Kevin go. The problem with baseball, Kevin, and you know it better than we do.
Yeah.
The problem is any definitive statement over 162 games will be proven factually incorrect because even the player that hits 180 hits 18 out of 100 at bats. Mm-hmm. So like this guy
guys hear
sucks.
My voice all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys hear my voice all the time. I'll start to make this definitive statement. And I'll be like, oh, Kevin, this is going to come back to haunt you as soon as Wednesday. So,
seasons are long. It'll drive you crazy because you can have every thought in your mind can cross your mind.
We have to talk about it every day, so that's what's going to happen.
So we're going to look like idiots when we do. Kevin, we'll catch up from St. Louis. Safe travels. All right.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
All right, we'll react on the other side. Stay with us, Jon and Jim. All right, the wrap coming up. Mark Neville, CEO of Sports San Diego, NASCAR San Diego, announced earlier today officially coming to Coronado, Father's Day weekend 2026. We'll catch up with Mark at 4:30. All right, here's my reaction to Kevin Acee. He hates you.
What? No.
What did he say? He's like, what did he say about you?
Yeah, I have asinine takes.
And you've lowered your expectations on Dylan Cease. He said that to you.
I know. And I usually have to tell Kevin, hey, Kevin, come on. Dylan Cease is not good.
That. By the way, look at even ESPN is profiling Dylan Cease's struggles right now.
3-10 with a 4.59 ERA and a 1.3 WHIP.
Yeah,
that's a bad season.
I don't think honestly, I don't think at all we've lowered our expectations. I think two things are true, which is he didn't cost them the game today, but he still hasn't been that top 3-ish Cy Young guy. You'd like him to. There's a difference between not costing a team a game and being the guy that wins a team a game.
Yeah, if the Padres lost 6-5 today and Dylan Cease gave up 5 runs,
it's more on him.
It's more on him. But today he didn't. He got into the 6th inning, gave up, 2 earned, 3 of them,
3 overall.
3 overall. But the walks, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, the 2 walks there to start. It's like you expect more. You expect a lot more because he's at the top of your rotation. And while Michael King has been out, you needed someone else to step up. Nick Pivetta has stepped up. Dylan Cease has not.
No, he hasn't. 100%. So, I mean, what Kevin was telling us about the trade deadline, man, it's hard. It's hard to say what AJ Preller is thinking because there's a level of unpredictability in there. But I mean, listen, I'm assuming AJ Preller is watching the games. And if AJ Preller is watching these games,
is he?
Then his list keeps getting longer in terms of what he needs to do. Because if he's watching this offensive struggle that has played out over 85 games since they were 14-3, like it's staring him in the face. And like my Google document, if I'm Preller, I'm adding to it. I just keep adding, oh, my bench, everyone needs to be dealt. Oh, the DH situation. I mean, I'd just be adding and adding and adding if I'm AJ Preller. So that my assumption is because Preller's a buyer when his team is good, and because the issues are staring him right in the face, then that's how he's looking at it. So that's my expectation. I'm expecting a number of trades to upgrade the Padres between now and July 31st.
And even with the upgrades, it's like a broken freaking record. You still need the guys that are on this team right now to produce. And if they don't produce, the trades won't matter.
Right.
They just won't. You go out and get 2 bats. That's great. Fixed a bench piece. You have a right-handed bat as your DH. They say they do well. Okay, awesome. But if Tatis continues to play like this and Jackson Merrill continues to play like this and Luis Ariz continues to play like this, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You can't go to where you want to go if Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to be an average offensive player. I'm sorry. Right. I see this online. It's like, oh, Tatis is having a great year. His WAR is really good. Are you watching the same player that I'm watching? I mean, yeah defensively he's great.
Yeah,
okay, but and you might, baseball is more than just at the plate. You're right. On the base pass, when you look back to his 2019 to 2021 season, was Tatis not considered one of the best base runners in baseball with all the matrix slides and scoring from second base on a pop-up and, the threat? Now, he wasn't able to steal a lot of bags because he was always hurt. But am I forgetting how, he was amazing on the base pass early in his career?
Yep.
Defensively, first year, it was like, whoa, okay. And then he dropped off because he had a lot of issues at shortstop that probably maybe caused a lot of injuries. And so they moved in the right field. But being a great right fielder shouldn't just automatically make him a top, 10 player in the sport. You have to have offense to back it up as well. And you said this the other night. I'd rather have him have a 950 OPS and be,
butcher in the field.
Well, not a butcher, but
you're right. He's not going to be a butcher. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But how often in our entire year have we talked about Manny Machado's defense? One day, because he hits, and his defense hasn't been up to his standard. But you're not talking about Manny's defense. You're talking about his offense. The same thing with Fernando Tatis Jr. I don't know why. You're right. There is a lot of pushback in this. Fernando's not Fernando, but John, he's still a great player. I mean, okay, but he's not the same player that he was. I think it's hard for some people to recognize that. Like that's a factual statement. That's not my opinion. He's not the same player. He's not close to the player he was. That's not my opinion. Mm-hmm. That is his baseball reference, his baseball savant, his statistics. It's everything about him. But he impacts the game on the bases and in the field. So his bat's not the same.
And if you think he's a great player, then your expectations has completely changed on him. Your expectations for him have lowered. Just admit it.
Right.
Admit it. Your expectations for Fernando Tatis Jr., if you consider what he's doing right now as a top 5, top 10 player in the sport, have completely lowered. And he's not even close to a top 5, top 10 player in the sport.
Nowhere near it.
Your expectations for Fernando Tatis Jr., if you think this is a great season, have lowered dramatically. And as Kevin said, they did not sign him to be a above average offensive player with a gold glove in right field. They signed him to be a top 5 hitter in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
That's who they signed. A top 5 hitter in the sport. Will figure out the defense and put him in right field. But you signed him to hit 40 bombs for you, to have an OPS in the 900s. He's not even close to that.
Yeah, I wish I don't even need to do the dive. Like, honestly, if I do a deep dive here, it's going to make him look worse. Like, I don't think if I looked at his offensive WAR or some of these other indicators, I don't think he's a top 25 hitter in the sport.
Now, the flip side of that is he can have big stretches.
Well, yeah, of course. Like what we just said with Kevin. Mm-hmm. Anything you say can be made to look wrong over 100% games.
Saw what he did in the postseason last year. He was arguably the best player in the sport in the postseason last year. You want to know why? Not because he was making great defensive plays in right field, because he was hitting the thing called the baseball over the fence at a high clip.
Right.
That's why he was considered the best player in the postseason last year up until the 24 scoreless innings. Is because he was hitting for power. He was a huge impact offensively. Defensively, he's solid. He's one of the best right fielders defensively in the game, maybe the best. But the most valuable part of Fernando Tatis Jr. is not his legs, not his glove. It should be his bat. Like, if it's not, then you got a problem.
I'm talking about his bat, and I just did this, and I shouldn't have done it. But his on-base plus slugging, his OPS this year is 54th in baseball among qualifiers. Defense rest. Behind Gunnar Henderson, ahead of Brandon Nimmo.
Right.
That's not who they signed.
No.
All right, the wrap is on the other side. And call 877-767-4760 right now if you want to qualify to win 2 free SDFC tickets for Friday night. We will qualify someone right now. We'll announce the winner at 5:30. Your chance to qualify this hour is by calling 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760. Mark Neville on NASCAR coming to San Diego at 4:30. The wrap coming up next. Jon and Jim.
Generally, Jim, you're very certain of what you say, even when it's asinine.
All right, this update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres lost to the Marlins today again. They lost 2 of 3 in the series. They're 3-3 on their 10-game road trip. They finished up their 10-game road trip in St. Louis for a 4-game series starting tomorrow. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever, perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com. You'll get an extra 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim. You do have a chance this hour to qualify to win SDFC tickets for Friday night against Nashville SC right here at Snapdragon Stadium. We do have SDFC Midweek Live. Darren Smith, Adrian Garcia Marquez in studio for 1 full hour beginning at 6 p.m. We'll catch up with Mark Neville on today's official announcement that NASCAR is coming to San Diego and Coronado in 2026. So Mark Neville, CEO at Sports San Diego, will join us coming up at 4:30. And if you missed Kevin Acee, you'll hear that in the 5 o'clock hour as well. You were out at SCFC earlier today.
I was.
Oh, you missed it for a second straight day. You missed the Aztecs basketball team practice.
I had things I had to do.
No.
Yeah. Yes.
What'd you have to do?
Went out to SDFC's training facility. I can't do both. Because what time was practice this morning? Let me guess. 10:30 a.m.
10:30.
10:30.
What time are you there? I don't see you awake before then.
I was there at 10:15.
Wow.
Yeah.
You talked to all the players and coaches? Get the deep dive?
No, I wasn't.
How far is it door to door from where you live to the training facility?
35 minutes.
That's not bad.
Still a drive.
It's not close. It's not close.
It's not good. It's not like
not
20. It's like
close.
15. What do you consider a short drive? Like 15, 20? It's 20 minutes like
I like
tops?
I like
Yes.
San Diego because for me, everything in San Diego is 20 minutes.
Like
away.
anything longer than 20 minutes, it's a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, I like that everything's 20 minutes. Like in LA, you'd never say that. In New York, you would never say that. But
Depending on
here
the
I can
time.
say, yeah, depending on where you're going, of course. But by and large, I can get to most places in 20, 25 minutes, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Especially from here, like Arrow or Mission.
And it's all about the timing of it. Because if I had to be there at 9 a.m., well, I would have to leave at like 8.
Right, I got you. Because of rush hour.
Yeah.
That's everywhere. But I like, short drive. A short drive to me is 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah. A short drive is SDSU to iHeartRadio, right? That's a very succinct 9, 10, 11-minute drive. I love that.
Yeah.
Get longer than
What's
that.
your average drive from your house to
Just SDSU?
here?
Or here?
15, 20?
19, 18.
Yeah, mine's about the same.
Yeah.
12.
12 for Brent. Yeah. Anything inside 20 is again, dude, like LA, New York. There's people, think about this. And there's people in San Diego listening right now that do the same thing because you're driving throughout Southern California. There's people that every day, both ways.
Ridiculous.
A couple of hours, right? Plane, train, automobile, commuting, just to get. I mean, it's really amazing, and that's why we kind of serve as like family because you might be in the car for 2 hours each way every single day in Southern California.
I couldn't do it.
No, I know it's crazy. It really is.
Oh, I'm so spoiled. I used to take like 30 to 35 minutes just to drive to the grocery store in Wisconsin where I was, to where now if I have to drive more than 15 minutes, it's like not even worth
I'm
it.
with you.
I used to live right on the street over by, where the In-N-Out Burger is on Friars.
No.
You don't? Brent knows where that is.
Yeah, it's over by the mall.
So no, not that one. There's another one. So Friars Road, take the exit to go to the stadium, and instead of taking a right to go to Snapdragon, you take a left, go over the bridge, go down that way, and then there's apartment buildings, and then there's an In-N-Out Burger over there. There's a Panda Express. There's a Rubio's. I used to live like right there, so getting to work every day was, I think I clocked it one time.
5 minutes.
I think I got here in 7 minutes.
Yeah, no, there's a huge advantage.
Like
to
with
that.
no, like sitting at a stoplight. Like it was like, I think it was like 6 or 7 minutes.
It's like, my wife works at home. It's amazing. There's no commute. It's like where some
gosh.
people have a 2 hour commute each way or 1 hour each way. It's like how much are you saving on gas by just working from home? All right. Coming up at 4:30, Mark Neville. Right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Will the Padres make a big splash at the deadline?
I mean, the more we talk to Kevin and the more he says, it feels like they're going to do something that might shock people. And the shock factor will be them trading away an everyday player or a player that has a little bit of money attached to him. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say I'm not going to say make a big splash, but they'll make a shocking move at the deadline, whatever that is.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll do something that falls in line with this creative script, which makes it very notable. I think there's something that they're going to do that is going to, be significant, which is what AJ Preller often has done. By the way, coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll say what Jeff Passan has to say about the Padres at the deadline today. But yeah, I think something of significance is coming for Preller at the deadline. What it is, stay tuned. Next question.
Who wins the first NASCAR race in San Diego?
That one car, the 67 car.
You like the 67 car?
Yeah, what car do you like?
I like Chase Elliott. I can see Denny Hamlin, the way that Toyota's running right now. That thing is running, right?
If you didn't Google that,
I didn't agree with it.
You would not have named one driver.
Have you seen Hamlin's freaking team around him? The way they are, the tire team. Those are going on and off quick right now. If you've been watching any of Xfinity series,
I like how you call them the tire team.
Tire team.
What are they called? The pit crew.
Yeah.
I would say Chase Elliott driving that Chevy number 9, or potentially Denny Hamlin driving that number 11 Toyota. And you can watch it all in Coronado.
If I showed you a picture of Denny Hamlin, you wouldn't know who Denny Hamlin is. You'd be like, who's that?
Yeah, I would. Because I just Googled him.
I know. I'm just saying if I showed you a picture without his name on it.
You're right. I mean, you're right. I'm curious about NASCAR in Coronado because I think the backdrop's ridiculous.
So this is a naval base?
A mail base?
Naval base?
Yeah, naval base. First time ever.
That's pretty cool.
250th anniversary, I think, of the U.S. Navy.
I'm just glad it's not going to... Is it going to
impact LeBron?
His legacy?
Right.
Maybe
No,
Bronny's.
but like the roads, like it's on the naval base, right?
I don't know enough about the actual full course.
We'll ask Mark Neville. Maybe he knows.
Like what the course entails, but yeah, good question. Next question.
Should the Padres trade Dylan Cease?
Screw it. Yes.
Only live once.
You're not going to re-sign him in the offseason, nor do you want to re-sign him.
You don't
in the
want to
offseason.
resign
You don't.
It's the last thing you want to do.
No, you're not giving it.
Spend all your money.
Nope. Not giving that guy a $200 million contract or whatever he's looking for. Sorry.
I'm all for him leaving at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because of the money.
Mm-hmm. He's having a bad year. He's not returning. Great. He has good stuff, but his good stuff has equaled bad numbers. So what does having good stuff even mean if they're equaling bad numbers? Mm-hmm. So as I said a couple of weeks ago, I'm not like actively trying to move him, but it doesn't hurt to throw his name out there, which it seems like they are, to see what you could fetch for him, because you got to get, quote, creative here. And if Dylan Cease is part of this creative venture that you're trying to go down, why not throw his name out there and see what you can get for him?
I'm setting up a Dylan Cease hotline. And when I'm AJ, say, here, don't call me, call this number, leave your offer at the beat. And you got until the 29th at 5 p.m. And whoever leaves the best offer gets Dylan Cease, potentially. Or the point is, I would absolutely be listening. What are you losing out on if you trade him 11 starts? You're missing out on 11 starts for a guy that has a higher than 4.5 ERA. He's replaceable. And his postseason numbers aren't good. I know they're limited, but they're not good. So the point is, if you can get a solid return, it should absolutely be considered. Next question.
Who wins tonight's MLS All-Star game?
I'm going with the MLS All-Stars.
You like MLS?
I do, yeah. Who do you like?
Liga MX?
Over Liga MX, yeah.
This game is in. I love how I asked you earlier where the game was. You're like, Texas. Where in Texas? Big state. Let's
Dallas.
See. Dallas, Texas. Is that confirmed?
Sure.
You're such an idiot. It's in Austin, you idiot.
Oh, Austin, Texas. Sorry, my bad.
That's like saying, San Diego, Sacramento. How far is Dallas to Austin? I'm looking it up. Okay. It's 3 hours.
Not that bad. It's like
true.
It's like from here to LA, right?
Yeah, basically. But that's with no traffic. right now. Dallas to Austin, 3 hours. I'll take MLS. Home field advantage. Playing in the U.S. against Liga MX, right? Does that not count for
Does
anything?
this determine home field advantage for the MLS Cup?
I don't think so. No, but there's the Leagues Cup coming up over the course of the next week or two where San Diego FC is taking part. There's matches here.
Will it end in a home run derby?
That'd be kind of cool. I don't know.
See that.
When is it? It's tonight at 6 p.m., right? I think it's at 6 o'clock Pacific. The MLS All-Star game?
Yeah.
I'm pretty
sure 6 p.m.
And we have 3 SDFC players that are on the MLS All-Star team.
We do.
Okay. Tune in.
We do, John.
But actually, don't tune in.
We have 3 All-Stars. We.
Don't tune in until after SDFC Midweek Live, though, coming up tonight.
We
at
won
6
the game. We hit the home run. We did
should
this.
trade Dylan Cease.
We should trade Dylan Cease. We should acquire a bat.
We.
It's like you're French.
We should change the name of the show.
Yeah, it's not the Padres. It's our team, our Padres.
Right, ours. All right. What did Jeff Passan write today about the Padres at the deadline and their hopes in terms of what they want to accomplish? We'll share that with you on the other side. Mark Neville, CEO at Sports San Diego, reacting to the news that NASCAR is coming to Coronado in 2026. We'll join us at 4:30. We have SDFC tickets to give away. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Mark Neville joins us. NASCAR coming to Coronado in 2026. He's the CEO of Sports San Diego. He will share more. If you missed Kevin Acee, you'll hear him at 5:30. We have SDFC tickets to give away as well. Did you read this from Jeff Passan today? The article?
What are you referring to?
The article.
That article?
Yeah, that one. He says, and this is basically everything we've said to a T. The Padres could be he says they could be the add and subtract kings of the deadline. The add and subtract kings.
Dude.
Okay, he goes on to say
they're doing something crazy here.
How about this? He says San Diego could dip into its exceptional bullpen for help.
No.
Robert Suarez, a potential free agent and major league leader in saves, is the likeliest option.
Stop.
Though teams have inquired about Dylan Cease and have not been told no.
Stop. Sneeze. Achoo.
He says the available number of catchers is thin, leaving outfield as a potential spot for improvement. He says ultimately the Padres just want to win, and while they've done so enough to find themselves in second place in the NL West and occupying the third wild card, San Diego needs to deepen a top-heavy roster and do so while staying within a budget. It won't be easy. So it could be buyers and sellers, add and subtract kings.
Good luck.
Could move Suarez. Could move Cease. Could be tough to acquire a catcher.
Mm-hmm. Do you think?
I do.
I was going to put the blame on the players, because if the players like Fernando and Jackson and Luis Ariz were performing and Xander was performing earlier on like he is now, do you think AJ would still be doing this types of moves at the deadline, making things harder than they need to be maybe?
No.
Exactly.
It's like if they were the 2024 Padres by the end of the year where the offense was humming and it was like the 8th best offense in the sport, no, you wouldn't be thinking the way he has to think. But he's got to kickstart something. He's got to try. Like, you got to put a new battery in. If the battery's dead, they can't score. They have the fewest runs in baseball over their last 32 games.
So if they do trade Dylan Cease or they do trade Jake Cronenworth or Robert Suarez, they have no one to blame in that clubhouse but themselves.
And like, how are you going to be that critical? Like you're right. Jake Cronenworth's a fan favorite, and people will call us and we will see on social media and say, how could you trade Jake Cronenworth? But what option did you leave the general manager? You might say, well, he's been one of their better offensive players. Okay. And they still can't score.
Yeah. If Fernando Tatis Jr. was living up to the expectations offensively that he has for him and that the team has for him, if Xander Bogaerts didn't have 2.5 months of just god awful baseball at the plate, if Jackson Merrill was producing at the plate instead of having a down year, if Luis Ariz was hitting more towards his career average than, having the worst year at the plate of his career, offensively, then you don't have to go out and try to get all creative with trading away an everyday player in Jake and a starting pitcher in Dylan.
I was like, what's the alternative? That's what I like about what Jeff Passan wrote. Like, and what you've gone down this path. Like, do you want to win the World Series or not? If you don't, then follow along. Like, business as usual. Mm-hmm. Business as usual could get you into the postseason. Business as usual, you get lucky in the postseason. We don't know. We can't guarantee that this roster can advance in the postseason. But like, if you're not overly concerned about enhancing your chances to win the World Series, I say status quo. Move along. Nothing to see here. If you actually have any legitimate hope of winning a World Series, then you're going to do things that will look like moves that are going to put you in a better position to win a World Series. I mean, I think it's basically as simple as that. And to win a World Series, it takes some creativity. It takes some bold decision-making. It takes some moves that people may be critical of, but you got to at least try.
And look what AJ's done over the last 5 years.
Yep.
Dating back to 2020, when this thing really started to kick into high gear.
Mm-hmm.
He went wild at the deadline in that fake short year.
Yeah.
To the point where he was saying, hey, I'll overpay. I don't care. And in the long run, it burned him. 2021, they tried to go out and they get Max Scherzer. And they tried to get Trey Turner in that big deal. And guess what happened? He got screwed because of Mike Rizzo. Right?
Man, that day sucked. But yeah.
And Ken Rosenthal.
Yeah.
Ken Rosenthal got bad information. He ended up helping the Dodgers. Surprise. That's interesting that he did that. And that trade deadline, it just crumbled and that team crumbled. And the famous thing that AJ came out and said was, we have guys on this team. They just need to perform.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't perform. They got hurt and they sucked. And that season was really bad. And they fired their manager that AJ said he would be around for 10 years. And then 2022, the Juan Soto deal. Matt, like just the biggest trade, one of the biggest trades in baseball history.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, you saw what happened.
The Tanner Scotts, the Jason Adams,
the Luis Arise, Dylan Cease. He went above and beyond. 2023 offseason, they signed Bogarts. At the deadline, it wasn't going their way. They didn't really do anything, but they fake bought instead of selling. So he's going to cook up something. It's just about what's he cooking up. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something that we're like, whoa, okay. It won't be something small. It won't be just one move. It'll be multiple.
Completely. I completely agree with all of that. If you missed Kevin Acee earlier, you'll hear our conversation with him coming up at 5:30. We will switch gears, no pun intended, Jim, to talk about NASCAR coming to San Diego. Mark Neville, do they switch gears? I'm sure they do.
Probably.
They must. NASCAR is coming to San Diego, and Coronado, the CEO of Sports San Diego that helped make this process happen, is Mark Neville. He's been on the station a number of times. He's actually on Fletch Zone earlier today. He's going to join us on the other side. We'll talk about NASCAR's commitment to Coronado in 2026. That's on the other side of this break. We have SDFC tickets to give away as well. You're listening to Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Rapid Radios, Padres and Marlins. Padres lose to the Marlins today, 3-2. They lose the series 2-1. They're 3-3 on their 10-game road trip. They'll conclude their 10-game road trip with a 4-game series in St. Louis starting tomorrow afternoon. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
All right, we've been talking about this really, really cool announcement. Official today. NASCAR heading to San Diego next year for a street race at Naval Base Coronado. And here to talk more about that is Mark Neville. He's the CEO at Sports San Diego, and he's back with us right now on San Diego Sports 760 and Jon and Jim. So, Mark, first of all, congratulations on this announcement, and thanks for joining us. From your seat, when you look at it from like you deal a lot with the economics of it at Sports San Diego and the tourism element of it, what does an event like this mean for the city? And thanks for hopping on.
Well, for me, this is one of the most exciting days of my life. As a lifelong race fan, I mean, I'm at an event right now, and I see Kyle Larson's here and Ryan Blaney. I mean, 2 Cup champions are here. Just getting this whole thing launched. This is a huge day. I mean, it's a great day. You know, for us at Sports San Diego, we are a nonprofit. We're all about driving tourism demand, and the platform we use is sports. You know, we own a few events like the Holiday Bowl that we do every year, the Rady Children's Invitational Basketball Tournament, the California State Games that we just did the Summer Games this last weekend. But we also serve as a sports commission, so we look to recruit and attract events that are tourism driving sports events. And so, you know, we brought the Manchester United matches here the last couple of years, the New Zealand All Blacks against Fiji rugby match. And so then with NASCAR, you know, we've been working on this for about 16 months now with NASCAR. Been under an NDA. It's the most difficult thing I think I've ever had to go through in my life, to wait 16 months before I can actually talk about it. But for San Diego, this is huge. I mean, this will be one of the biggest sports events San Diego has ever had. And to have NASCAR here and to have it out on the base at Naval Air Station, North Island, and Coronado, celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States Navy, and to do that with a NASCAR race on the base here next June 19th to the 21st, and having the Cup Series here, and having the Xfinity Series and the Craftsman Truck Series all a part of the festival. And as for race fans, you guys know what I'm going to be talking about here. It's the sounds of race weekend, the smells of race weekend that are super unique, the colors, the excitement, the fans. This is way more than just a NASCAR weekend. This is going to be a celebration not only of NASCAR and the entertainment of the 3 series that are going to be racing here, a celebration of the 250th anniversary of the United States Navy. But for San Diego, this is a big deal. This is a tourism generator. Be tens of thousands of people that will be out on the base each day over the 3-day period. And it's going to be filling hotel rooms. It's going to be putting people in the restaurants, putting people in shops, and going to all of our attractions and helping to support jobs and creating tax revenues and making San Diego just a better place. You know, we don't have a 70,000 seat stadium anymore to bring a Super Bowl, or a 18 or 19,000 seat arena to have NHL and NBA events. But we have San Diego, and we got to take advantage of the unique nature that we are. And for working with NASCAR, and the Navy has been incredible in making this happen, and the NASCAR folks are wonderful. You know, and for the part that we played in making this happen, I can't tell you how proud we are as an organization. And I hope that all of San Diego, in one way or the other, gets involved with it, because it is going to be a special weekend next June 19th to the 21st in 2026.
And we talk about the military presence, you know, being on naval base. What role did
By the way, I'm not excited about it at all. Right?
We can tell.
Yeah,
You're
tell.
obviously very, like, you know, muted on this thing. You do a good job of faking it. Yeah, you're faking it really well there. The military presence and getting this here on the naval base in Coronado, how big of a role did that play in getting this officially done here in San Diego?
When NASCAR first came down here and they asked, what locations that we thought might be ideal for this, and for some of your listeners, you might remember way back when the Holiday Bowl in 1997, we started the Coronado Classic Speed Festival, and it was a vintage race that we did out here on the base, out on the airfield here at North Island, and so one of those places that we took them when NASCAR first came down here, we took them to Cabrillo National Monument because we couldn't get on the base that day. And so, but we went to the monument and looked down, and I showed them, we showed them where the track was, and it was a beautiful day like today. And you could see everything. You could see all the way into Mexico. You could see the skyline and the bridge and all of Coronado, and the water was just like especially blue that day, and a cruise ship is going by. I think that sold it pretty well. It was like, okay, this is special. And then you throw on top of it that next year is the 250th anniversary of the United States Navy. It's like everything just kind of came together. And I don't want to underplay or downplay how hard it was, because, NASCAR had to work really hard at it. And the Navy had to work really hard at it. And, it took a lot of people, a lot of energy. And, San Diego is going to be better because of it.
How many people are we talking about in terms of like being able to attend? We're with Mark Neville right now, CEO at Sports San Diego, talking about NASCAR coming to Coronado in 2026. Like, what is the logistical challenge of preparing like seating, grandstands, premium hospitality? How many people are we talking about for any one individual event?
Yeah, that has not been announced yet. They're still finalizing. They have a bunch of different models.
Gotcha.
That they've worked through on the track, and they're finalizing that. And then that will dictate the seating and the capacity for the venue. But, it's going to be considerable. I can tell you that. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be enough where it's going to have a huge impact on San Diego for sure.
We talk about, the fan experience. Obviously, it's early in the process, but what are some ideas that have been thrown around to make this the best fan experience at a NASCAR event that it possibly can be?
Well, think about it. A lot of it has already happened. There's never been a NASCAR event or a Cup Series race, at least, on an active military installation. This will only be the second time in NASCAR's history that they've run on a street course. So there's a lot of pieces of this that are very unique. And then the fact that we're on a Navy base and one that's as scenic. Think about it. The Cup Series is going to be on Amazon Prime. The Xfinity Series race is going to be on the CW, and the Truck Series race is going to be on Fox Sports. The visibility, think of everything that's around this space, and I'm actually on the installation right now, and think everything that's around this and with the track, think how that's going to show nationally and even globally when these races are running. It's going to be spectacular. And for the fans who are here, it is going to be I think I'm pretty safe and comfortable in saying it's probably going to be the most unique NASCAR weekend experience there's ever been. And it's going to take place right here in our own backyard in San Diego.
Really, really cool. We're with Mark Neville. Like often in sports, we were just talking about this with golf with Scotty Scheffler. Like he wins a major and what's next for you, Scotty? Can you win another major? So I'll ask that to you, Mark. This is a massive announcement for Sports San Diego and NASCAR in the city of San Diego. And I know you can't give us specifics, but you've talked about what you've brought here over the last few years, whether it's international soccer, an event like this. What's next? What comes next for Sports San Diego as you look to the future and bringing events to this city?
So we are working on some pretty cool things right now. A few that I cannot talk about, as a matter of fact. Similar how I can talk about this for a long time. Right, exactly. But I will tell you, when we were primarily just doing the Holiday Bowl, we were driving about between 15 and 25,000 room nights a year. When we became Sports San Diego, and so that we brought on the Rady Children's Invitational Basketball Tournament, of course, still doing the Holiday Bowl, the California State Games, and then we started bringing all these other events. And our first full year, we did 100,000 room nights. And our second year, we did 130,000. Last calendar year, we did 150,000 room nights. So we basically are 10x what we used to do in terms of impact for the community than what we used to for the Holiday Bowl, just the Holiday Bowl. our North Star, where we want to go, is we want to be driving 250,000 room nights a year for San Diego. And that's important. A lot of people are saying, well, what does that do? Well, when you drive room nights like that, that creates jobs. It supports jobs. It creates tax revenues for the city so we can do a lot more. It does for transient occupancy tax or sales tax revenues. It puts people in restaurants, in our locally owned restaurants. It puts people in the bars. It sends people to our local attractions. It creates an economic benefit for our region. This will be one of the larger ones that San Diego has ever had in terms of an annual special event. This is going to be that's why I say this will be one of the biggest sports events that San Diego has ever seen.
Coming in June 2026. Mark, congratulations on the announcement and the successes. We appreciate you taking time for us on 760, and we hope to do it again soon.
Pinch me, guys. This is great. Can't wait.
We would if we could.
Yes.
Through the radio, we are. Mark Neville,
Yes.
CEO at Sports San Diego. Very, very cool stuff happening in Coronado next year. All right. Who wants Wiz Khalifa tickets, Jim? And we have 4 tickets, a 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa. This is Friday, August 8th, coming up at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets and information available at livenation.com. If you want a free 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa on a Friday night, a 4-pack of tickets, great giveaway. Call right now, 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760 with a free 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa here in San Diego. All you need to do is call. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia. Just call right now. We'll play trivia. The winner is getting a 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa on Friday, August 8th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. And the number to call again is 877-767-4760. Call right now. That's next on Jon and Jim. Jim's an idiot. I will see you tomorrow. Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by Bryan Adams, John Fogerty, and more. September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile in Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. Jim just bit his lip and is pretending like he has to end.
I need to ask you a serious question.
Don't pretend like you're dying.
Is my tongue bleeding?
No. Like, dude, like when
how
Michael
hard do
Jordan,
you bite into a piece of pizza that your
when
tongue's
Michael
gonna
Jordan
be
had the
bleeding?
flu game, he stepped up.
I'm
Like,
going to
it's the
step
job.
up. I'm going to be fine.
Guys, listen, Merrill's dealt with a concussion this year.
Hey, I'm not leaving, am I? I'm here.
Merrill actually went on the IL, but
yeah, I'm not
should.
soft. I
You're
play
right.
through the injury.
How about this? We have a developing story. We'll get to this Wiz Khalifa giveaway, but first, a developing story. This from Dennis Lynn. At this exact moment in The Athletic, the Padres league sources said are among the teams that have inquired on Sandy Alcantara. So Alcantara, who just deals today in Miami against the Padres, 7 innings, 1 unearned run. Dennis Lynn writing, the sources are saying the Padres are among the many teams, not just teams, the many teams that have interest in former Cy Young Award winner, Marlins starter Sandy Alcantara.
So I put my reporter hat on today, and I had some breaking news of my own.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did tweet this out a couple hours ago, but I figured I should bring it back now. Makes sense.
This confirms your idiocy. Okay.
I do have sources, as many people know.
Yeah.
And according to my sources, all right, this is breaking news. According to my sources, AJ Preller and the Padres, they are talking to everyone about everyone.
This is what, Brent, this is what I deal with. This is what our listeners deal with. He says breaking news, and then according to his sources, the Padres are talking to everyone about everyone.
Correct.
Well, Kevin Acee did say earlier.
Generally, Jim, you're very certain of what you say, even when it's asinine.
Yep.
That is hilarious.
Even when it's asinine.
No, but here's the one thing I would say, and you're right. It's probably going to be an out of left field move, no pun intended. It could be a name we haven't heard of.
Every player on the trade block, AJ has called on.
No, but that's not like when you look at what Passan said.
And
when
like
you
the
look
Padres,
at what
like
Lynn,
12 players.
9. That's a lot.
That's a lot of players.
But there's also been like confirmation of some of those players. Like we've heard about Stephen Kwan from multiple sources, and now we've heard about Sandy Alcantara from Jeff Passan and Dennis Lynn.
Every player.
But no, I mean, I think they are honing in on positions of need.
Let's review the players that have been linked to the Padres.
Okay.
Like through sources. All right.
Okay. Review.
Sandy Alcantara, Stephen Kwan, Luis Robert Jr., Marcelo Ozuna, even though that's like a fake thing.
Jaron Duran.
Adolis
Garcia.
Mm-hmm. Charlie Morton.
That's not everyone. Seth Lugo. Zach Gallen. Taylor Ward.
Yeah.
Did you say Kwan?
I said Kwan.
You're right. You're getting up to 10 or 12.
When you are linked to 12 players?
Yeah, 8 days before the deadline, which means there's going to be another 12 players.
12?
12 is a lot. It's like your whole team.
12?
Right.
Bro. Everybody.
So you're saying
he's checked in on.
He's checked in on
everyone.
Right.
According to my sources.
Alcantara to me is Luis Robert as a pitcher. And what I mean by that is just buy low. But do you buy low if many teams have checked in on him?
And I'm sure they probably think to themselves about Sandy Alcantara, controllable. We need starting pitching help next year. We're losing King and Cease.
Right.
We can fix him.
Which may be true. I mean, he makes 17 million next year. There's an option for 2027. I mean, 17 million for a good starting pitcher is absolutely nothing.
AJ Preller feels like the crazy girl that looks at a guy and is like, guy's got all these problems.
Right.
I can fix him.
Maybe. What do you got, Brent?
I was just going to say, Kevin brought up that, AJ could do something that would be shocking. But knowing AJ and how he loves to make deals, would it also be shocking? What if he did nothing? Would that classify as being shocking? I know they need to do stuff, but what if he just stood pat and pulled an un-AJ move and did nothing?
Well, I'll guarantee you this. To Brent's point, there'll be another team that's 6 or 7 games over 500 that doesn't do anything. That they trust the roster and say, you know what? If it works out, it does. And if it doesn't, well, I mean, we weren't going to make wholesale changes anyway to change the direction of our team. Yeah, I mean, I think we've made this point over the last couple of days. I mean, you could do minimal around the edges moves. Is that enough to feel good about the Padres in 2025 if they just had a bench bat? No, I mean, you're wanting more than that. If you're a Padres fan, you've been watching, you see the veteran core, you're paying these guys, the Machados and the Bogarts and the Tatises. You want more than just around the edges moves. You want to see if they can upgrade this team.
Hey, man, all I heard a month ago from people were, hey, they just need to make a move for a marginal bat and they'll be fine. Just replace, this player with an average bat and everything will be fine.
Right. Just get replacement level
production. Just get replacement level production for Trent Brooks. Everything's going to be fine. Did you forget that Tatis can't hit? Did you forget that Jackson Merrill is not hitting over 2 months?
That's a good point.
Like, did you forget that, it's great 27 games for Xander Bogaerts, but overall Xander Bogaerts this year has like 34 RBIs in the season.
Right.
Like, did we forget that? Did we forget that Luis Ariz is hitting well under his career average at the plate?
No, I haven't forgotten.
By like 50 points almost.
It's a lot. It is a lot.
He's hitting what, what is it now?
Tell me what he's hitting, and I'll tell you his career average.
I know his career average is around 320-ish.
What's his name? Luis Ariz?
He's hitting 285 this year. His career average, 318.
Yeah, it's 33 points. You're right. It's significant. It's a drop-off. He also wrote, by the way, about a pitcher we saw yesterday, Edward Cabrera. He said Marlins right-hander Edward Cabrera is the younger, pricier option to Sandy Alcantara.
You probably thought after the Luis Ariz deal with Peter Bendix, I can get Peter Bendix again.
It's funny is, yeah, I mean, the Marlins are well set up potentially here at the deadline. They have good young pieces they can hold on to, and they can get rid of some pieces they can add to their young core. Potentially?
If I'm Peter Bendix, why would I trade a young pitcher?
Not Cabrera, but I'm moving Alcantara every day of the week.
Alcantara,
if I can get a return.
Bye.
Yeah,
Cabrera, keeping him.
Yeah, I mean, they have a slugger homer today against the Padres. Jesus Sanchez, they might get a return for.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, you're right. I mean, I guess in saying that the Padres have checked in on Sandy Alcantara, that's like saying, I have two eyes.
The sky is blue.
The sky is blue.
Water's wet.
Exactly. So maybe it's not overly surprising at all. And he also wrote about this idea that Dylan Cease is at least a candidate to be traded, right? They've fielded interest, right? They fielded interest on Cease. And that began in the offseason with Dylan Cease. They were taking calls on Dylan Cease in the offseason.
And we talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
That you've already laid the groundwork for a Dylan Cease trade.
Probably.
By how much interest he drew in the offseason.
Yeah, price tag, though, has gone down.
Price tag has gone significantly down. That is for sure. But you have talked to multiple teams about a framework deal for Dylan Cease.
Good point.
So this is not like the test is, or the paper's due tomorrow. We have to cram everything in and get the essay done tonight. Like, you've been working on this essay for a while.
Right. It's a good point. It's a really good point.
You just have to finish it. And if you want to finish it, do you want to trade to him or not?
The most fascinating deadline would be getting rid of huge pieces and bringing in huge pieces at the same time. That's
you bring back Alcantara and Duran.
That would be the most fascinating deadline. Is massive, huge benchmark pieces gone and adding players that are controllable with similar ceilings, if not higher ceilings.
Next week is going to be wild.
I think so. I do. I think there'll be a lot of movement.
You got the Mets in town with Juan Soto. That's going to be.
That's a great point.
That's going to be interesting.
And they haven't been to Citi Field. That's a National League team. They haven't even played the Mets this year, correct?
They have not. The Mets. Wait, no. Did they play the Mets?
I don't think so. No, I think it's the only team they haven't played in the National League. St. Louis. But they're playing them tomorrow.
Right.
I think the Mets are the only National League team the Padres haven't played. I could be wrong. Feels like that to me. Have they played the Mets?
You're right. They've not played the Mets.
So they go to Citi Field still.
They've been to New York to play the Yankees.
And they're going back to Citi Field.
They play the Mets.
When is that?
In September, second last week of September.
Right, so that's actually one of again, September's lighter, but that might be one of the more challenging series.
And if you look at it here, I say September is lighter, but there are,
who else is in there?
The Mets and the Brewers.
Yeah, those teams have, contenders.
Brewers, Pat Murphy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Best National League record right now?
Yep. They've won, 11 or 12 in a row? I mean, they just
12.
They've won 12 in a row.
Insane.
They just won today over Seattle, I think 11-2 or 10-2.
That's insane.
A bunch of nobodies on that team. I mean, not a bunch of nobodies, but a bunch. I mean, that team was not expected to be this good this year. Pat Murphy. Interesting how those things work.
It is a funny
Pat
thing.
Murphy and Dave Roberts just crushing it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right. On the other side, we'll get back to where we started today, which is the Padres dropping a series to the Marlins as the trade deadline approaches, just over 1 week away. Plus, if you missed our conversation with Kevin Acee, you'll hear that coming up at 5:30. We have STFC tickets to give away. When you hear that goal call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify to win 2 free tickets to see STFC on Friday night against Nashville here at Snapdragon Stadium. Final hour of Jon and Jim coming up next. Hey guys, it is Jon and Jim again for the all-new Humul Casino Resort, the Players Place. You got to get there every Monday in July. You've got another chance coming up next week, a chance to win big. 10 winners every hour, 7, 8, 9 p.m. Odds better than ever. Onyx players get an extra $100 cash bonus on top of their winnings. Plus, earn entries all month by playing. Get 2 times the entries on Tuesdays with at least $500 cash for all winners and a chance to win up to $50,000 in the big deal game. It's a promotion you're not going to want to miss.
And John, get ready to elevate your gaming experience with their brand new casino app. Get 200,000 bonus coins when you sign up and enjoy real rewards with every in-app purchase. Just play online at playhumulcasino.com. That's playhumulcasino.com.
Get there this weekend. Lobster brunch at Prime Cut every Sunday from 10:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon. Hand-carved prime rib as well with lobster tails every Sunday. It's the perfect way to treat yourself to a Sunday well spent at the all-new Humul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right, this update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres lost today against the Marlins 3-2. They're 3-3 on their 10-game road trip. They have a 4-game series with the Cardinals tomorrow night to end the 10-game road trip before they return home next week against the Mets. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk. Walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. No subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off. And free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of Jon and Jim. We're here until 6 p.m. tonight. We are giving away SDFC tickets at 5:30. Be listening for the goal call from Adrian Garcia Marquez. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify and win those tickets. Also, Darren Smith and Adrian Garcia Marquez in studio coming up at 6 p.m. for one full hour. They'll have SDFC midweek live. So looking forward to that. If you missed Kevin Acee, you'll hear a conversation with him coming up around 5:30. We started today in a twofold conversation, one of which is the Padres just lost a series to the Marlins. That's not something they've done this year, lose to teams under 500. Now,
right.
The Marlins have been good recently. You've talked about it. They really have.
18-8 now in the last 26.
So really, really good play. But the Padres lose consecutive games. They're going to St. Louis. St. Louis hasn't been very good. The concern remains the concern that the offense is the offense.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that's on one hand, like it's playing out right in front of us. And then the other hand is all anyone really wants to talk about, which is AJ Preller at the deadline and what he's capable of doing or what his system can return for him or what John Seidler is willing to do financially moving forward. So it's like two parallel tracks. This team is 3-3 since the deadline, and this team is facing an upcoming trade deadline, and both of them matter, how they play on field as well as what they do over the next week.
Doesn't it feel like we are on a collision course with something that we were not expecting to happen at the deadline with everything that's being said right now?
I think it's fair.
All the players that AJ's in on.
I think it's fair.
All the rumors.
Like you'd say, we'll be disappointed if ultimately the move is Adolis Garcia. That's the move.
Dude, I'm expecting fireworks, bro.
Right. So Adolis Garcia, obviously, and the way there's no one move. He's making multiple moves. He's always tweaking and tinkering. Even the small moves are moves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. I'm heading more towards the splashier deadline than not.
Do you think anything has to do with the fact that he still does not have a contract extension after next year?
Man, that's a whole nother conversation.
Another whole can of
You're opening worms there. I mean, that's like asking, does it matter how they're playing right now? Because, like, are you waiting to see if they go 3-1 in St. Louis as opposed to 1-3? Like, is John Seidler like, hey, AJ's calling. He's like, well, hold on. There's not enough data. Let's see what we do this weekend. Maybe we go 4-0. That'll change my tune.
You would think that he has some type of feeling on if the organization is going to give him a contract extension, or do you think he doesn't know? He doesn't have any clue.
Kevin says he's been doing reporting on that, and he wouldn't be confident in what the organization's plans are moving forward with Preller.
Well, if you're not, hey, Ethan Salas, bye-bye.
No, you can't burn it down.
Bye-bye.
You can't. I mean, no good franchise is wrong.
Oh, lockout in 2027?
Yeah.
Leo DeVries, bye-bye.
No. I mean, he's certainly working with like some amount of like restriction. He knows what he can and cannot do. Like he knows he can't add a player like Rafi Devers. I say that he called on him
as I said,
months ago.
As I reported earlier today, John, he has called on everybody.
Yeah. So maybe there are no restrictions. Maybe there are no restrictions. I don't know if his contract, I can't go down that path right this moment. It's a great question, but how on earth do I know, or does anyone know if his contract plays any role in what happens over the next week? It's a great question.
You don't know.
I'd love to know.
What I would love to know is if they do make the postseason and say they get bounced in the wild card round, what happens in the offseason with him and his contract status?
Right. You hold the line or do you extend him?
I don't know. I would think they would extend him, but this is a different regime.
Right.
This is not the Peter Seidler run Padres anymore, where he was the only person that mattered in the organization as far as, backing of Preller. It didn't matter what anybody else thought of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he had full 100% faith in AJ. Now you don't have that. And how much is Group Dog's voice going to matter in, the decision of things going forward?
Yeah.
That relationship, we know it's not a good one. Anybody that doesn't know that, get surprised.
Right.
They're not. It's not a good
There's
relationship.
friction there.
There's
Yeah, no.
friction.
I mean, all these questions are completely valid. My hunch remains a Padres postseason team is a team that isn't rocking the boat within their front office anytime soon. Now, there's going to be a time, and I agree with this. You can't have the same general manager for X number of years and not get to a World Series or win one. There will be a day. He's been here around 11 seasons.
Yeah.
What is the number? Is it
20?
14?
20?
Right. Is it 6? I mean, there's a day where we've said this like with Andy Reid. I know he's a coach, not a general manager. It's like the message gets staler. It's better for both sides to move on. And look at Andy Reid on the other side of his time with Philadelphia. He's been the best coach or one of the best coaches in football. And by the way, it hasn't worked out poorly for the Philadelphia Eagles either since Andy Reid left. They have 2 Super Bowls. You might make that argument one day with Preller, where, you know what, maybe Preller be a general manager of Minnesota and have success with the Twins, and maybe the next GM here will be successful. I don't think we're there yet, is my point. In terms of it being stale and people are going to be calling for him to go.
This has nothing to do with this year, but once AJ Preller is not the general manager of the Padres anymore, and there will be a day when he is not the general manager of this team. Is he good enough right now, as far as like in the eyes of other teams around the league, where you expect him to be picked up as a general manager like that?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
Now, the only part of me that would question it is that he's been given dollars to spend that a lot of GMs in baseball haven't been given.
Right. Like he's not going to Pittsburgh and doing what he's done here.
That's the one thing. Now he was with the regime where he didn't spend when he first got here.
Imagine him in New York with the Mets or the Yankees takes over for Cashman.
I don't think this is his final GM job, under the assumption that he's not a 25-year GM like Brian Cashman. Like if he's not 25 years here, I think he'll be a GM again.
Like what team has money, hasn't won recently, that would need a general manager in the near future?
Right. The Mets just had the regime change. I mean, again, I don't know if you're getting a Yankees job based on the body of work here. But like, do I think he'd get another job because there's been enough good in here? Yeah, I do. I
think he'd be good in New York with the Yankees.
Maybe you talk about
a stale voice in the room that fans might want to change over. Mm-hmm. I mean, every day the Yankees fans are back and forth on Aaron Boone. They want to fire him one day and then sign him to extension the next. I mean, how long is Cashman's leash in New York?
I mean, and also, do you want to follow Brian Cashman as general manager of the New York Yankees?
Nah.
With his
I'm just thinking of some stupid, like crazy scenarios.
Right.
Like, what other team would fit Preller and his craziness? That he has the money and the authority and he would be able to go out and make moves. Not Pittsburgh, no.
Yeah, right. No, it would have to be a team with some amount of budget, you would think, even though he's a scout.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Colorado?
He's not going there. There's also there's certain jobs you don't want.
Well, you know, Dick
Colorado's
Monfort.
One of them.
Dick Monfort spent a little bit of money, but it hasn't worked.
That's true. Ultimately, here's what I think. I think Preller is going to be here beyond 2026. That's what I personally think. I think the Padres are a playoff team in 2025. And I think because the Padres are a playoff team in 2025, AJ Preller gets a contract extension.
You would think so, right?
That's what I think happens ultimately. But I do agree with the general thought that, all good things come to an end, even if this hasn't been very good. He's not going to be here for forever.
No, there will be a day when AJ Preller is gone. Not like gone, but I mean, like he's not the GM. He's not dead, but he won't be the GM of this team.
Yeah, of course. So now I'd like to see him leave with a ring.
That'd be nice.
I mean, again, if you get to a World Series, you
50-year extension.
It's as long as you want to be here, obviously, and he'll be celebrated for forever. But that's a big if.
Yep.
That's the big if. And also, I don't really put I don't put what happened last year on AJ Preller. I don't put the 24 innings on Preller.
No.
Maybe some people disagree. I don't put them losing to the Phillies in 2022 on Preller. It's the Moneyball theory. Like, you got to the postseason, you've got chances to win. They've had a level of success in the postseason. They've won series. Sure. Starting pitching or having needs, absolutely. But I'm not like looking at AJ Preller at the end of last year and be like, that's on you, man. You cost us, dude. No, that's not how I look at last year at all.
Yeah, I don't blame AJ Preller for Fernando Tatis struggles in the last 3 years. I don't blame AJ Preller for Jackson Merrill having a down year.
Right.
I don't blame AJ Preller for Dylan Cease having a bad season or Luis Ariz having a down year for his standards. I do blame AJ Preller for this awful bench that he constructed.
Yeah, exactly.
I do blame AJ Preller for signing Xander Bogaerts to that awful deal.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Credit and blame. That's the job.
Yep.
Some of this stuff, I mean, I was thinking about this today when it's not about Trenton Brooks, but it is about a lack of depth. And when I'm watching Trenton Brooks back-to-back days batting in a one-run game representing a go-ahead run, and I'm thinking last year, think about their bench options and how much production they were getting out of
Peralta
Solano. Higashioka, although he's a starter. I mean, it was just a better, more well-rounded bench. Maybe that's possible at the deadline. I mean, we're not asking for everything to upgrade your bench. It wouldn't cost an arm and a leg, but just it feels like the drop-off has been significant from Peralta Solano to what is going on right now with their bench, for example. So, yeah, he's got work to do. He does. But again, I wouldn't advocate to move on from AJ Preller. That's not where I am right now. I want to see what happens in 2025, and I think if they make the playoffs in 2025, I think they're on the right path. Truthfully,
yeah. And last year's team, the bench wasn't this like murderer's row, guys. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, the bench has Barry Bonds and Babe Ruth on it.
Right.
It was Donovan Solano and David Peralta.
But those guys were competent.
They were competent, good players.
Yep.
But they were winning not because of their bench. Their depth was also a reason why. They were winning because their star players were performing. Jackson Merrill had an amazing year. Jurickson Profar had an all-star season.
No, you're right. But Tatis missed 3 months, and they played awesome.
You're right.
And they plugged Peralta in.
I know.
And the team played, again, not because he's better than Tatis.
If Tatis missed 3 months this year, even though he's having a bad season offensively,
where you turn,
you're cooked.
Yeah, exactly. So it just felt like they were better positioned maybe to deal with that a year ago. This is not a bad team. They're still 8 games over 500. It's a good team. And it's still, the question is how good.
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
Are they capable of being a great team?
And what's crazy is, Tatis played his 100th game today. All right.
So he's played basically every game.
Basically every game. He played 102 games last year. He had 398 at bats last year. He's got 378 right now. So virtually the same.
Right. Right.
His numbers last year across the board, offensively, better. Last year,
broken leg for the first half.
Yeah, last year he had an 832 OPS in 102 games. This year he's got a 798 OPS in 100 games. Last year at 102 games, he had 21 homers and 21 doubles. This year he's got 16 homers and 14 doubles. So look, we were just watching a video of Kyle Schwarber hit another home run in Philadelphia. Does anybody sit there and be like, you know what?
He can't run.
Can't run well. No, because he mashes. Because he hits bombs.
Just give me the masher. Why can we never have the guy? Like, how many 40 home run hitters are there in the history of the San Diego Padres in a season?
I would trade Fernando Tatis Jr.'s platinum glove right now for 4 straight seasons of 40-plus home runs in a second.
Wait, say that again?
I would trade Fernando Tatis Jr.'s gold glove defense in right field for the next 4 years of him hitting 40-plus home runs a season.
Yeah, sign me up.
In a second.
In Padres history, 40 home runs in a season. Greg Vaughn, 50.
Yep.
Toddy, 42.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Nevin, 41 in 01. Adrian Gonzalez, 40 in 09. Caminiti, 40 in 96. They've been around for 57 years. I might have the math wrong, in that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Since 69. They have 5 individual seasons of 40 home runs. Man, don't you yearn for that?
Yep.
The pure masher.
And they had it. And they lost it. And the same guy, he's here. They had it with him.
Toddy.
He was the guy to hit, I'm not going to say go on a Griffey run because there's no, those numbers aren't going to be.
No.
But hey, can you go 4 straight years of hitting 40 home runs or more with a 950 OPS for 4 straight seasons?
Let me answer that.
Tatis will be lucky to have a 900 OPS season just one more time in his career, it feels like.
Potentially. Kevin Acee at 5:30. SDFC tickets are given away later this hour as well for Friday night. Be listening for that goal call from Adrian Garcia Marquez. We are here until 6 p.m. On cue. Last chance to qualify and win. SDFC tickets for Friday night against Nashville here at Snapdragon. Call 877-767-4760 to qualify and win those tickets. Call right now. 877-767-4760. We'll announce the winner of those tickets for Friday night coming up later this hour. Kevin Acee at 5:30. Jon and Jim. All right, Kevin Acee in 10 minutes. SDFC tickets for Friday night. We'll announce the winner of those coming up this hour as well. SDFC Midweek Live coming up at 6 p.m. Darren Smith, Adrian Garcia Marquez in studio. Man, a lot to react to. Padres lose the last 2 games. That Marlins series, both 1-run losses. What are you looking at?
Your camera again.
Oh, my gosh.
You're frozen in like a really weird angle.
Yeah, I kind of am.
It's not bad. Doesn't make you look awful, but
Right.
It makes you look snarky.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Just-
see that.
Just like kind of
Not
weird.
great.
No, it's not great.
Like you're totally over it.
I get it.
I mean, I've been watching it.
I get it.
I'm watching these games every day. We're
They're
just
just so-
saying at the break. We're saying at the break, like,
Yeah.
again, it's like when you're a fan, like you get like kind of fanatical about it. Like, I'm like, I'm watching watch the Marlins series. I dare any Padres fan to rewatch those 3 games.
No, don't do it.
I would dare someone to watch that. Where is the excitability factor?
No, not there.
Like, these are like, seriously. And by the way, it wasn't like a completely lost series. It was nice to see Merrill with a couple of hits the last couple of days, like impactful doubles, right? To help you draw closer. I'm trying to think what else happened. I mean, Xander Bogaerts continues to play well enough, certainly on offense for this team. You know, Machado had his moments here, but it's like, where are the home runs?
They're not
Where's
there, John.
the excitement?
They're 27th in baseball, I think, in total home runs this year as a team.
How many home runs did they hit in this Marlins series?
The number would be less than 1.
That's what it felt like. It's like, come on, like, just we just had the conversation. How many 40 home run hitters have they had in Padres history? It's not their fault. They haven't had a lot in their history, but who's going to lead this team in home runs? How many home runs are they hitting this year? Oh, I didn't fix this. Sorry. How many home runs is the leading home run hitter on the Padres hitting this year?
28?
Right.
Maybe?
And again, is that the end all be all? Of course it's not. You don't have to have a 40 home run hitter to be good. That's not like, hey, they have a 40 home run hitter. They must be the best team in baseball. I get it. It doesn't work like that.
Well, it's nice to have a guy that has
nice.
like 36 home runs or 38, 7 home runs on your team.
There are like 3 guys that hit like 30, right? There's been a lot of teams throughout baseball that have 3.
Over under 25 home runs for Tatis.
How many has he hit?
16.
How many has he hit over the last 3 months? Like 2?
Like
No, that's more than that. He actually had 4 or 5 in May. But
let's see here.
That's a fair number. I would probably say 25.
He's hit 3 over his last 30 games. And there's what, 60 left?
So that would be 6 more.
So that's 21.
That's 22.
22.
But I'll take the over on that. And I'll even take the over on 25. But maybe that, I guess what I'm seeking now is like, just go get a guy that can just.
Does Merrill hit 15?
I have no idea. How many? Manny's got a decent total, doesn't he?
He's got 18.
60 to play.
He'll get 30.
Yeah, he'll probably get to 30.
Or close to it.
And how many has Gavin Sheets at?
Gavin Sheets, he is
16, I think.
He's struggled
He's
recently.
cooled off, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has definitely cooled off. The dad strength isn't there yet.
Give it time. He's had a nice year.
For his standards, yes.
And he can hit for power. He could even hit.
He's
30.
got 14 home runs.
He's not hitting 30.
He's hitting 218 in his last 15 games. He's hitting 222 in his last 30.
So I guess what I'm saying is, can you just go add someone that can mash?
It also happens when Gavin Sheets was brought in as like platoon guy.
Or depth bench piece. Yeah.
And he's turned into an everyday player
Playing
because they got nothing else.
He'd never been in left field. Now he's like playing there every single day. This is
over the shoulder catches.
Yeah. Again, I'm thinking offense. You're right. I mean, we've talked about everything under the sun over the last 2 months, but I close my eyes and I'm like, go find a hitter that makes this team more of a threat, like the long ball threat. It's hard to rally with 4 hits in an inning, Jim. Like you got to rely on 4 hits to score 2 or 3. I just want the walk and the home run, which they have not had nearly enough of this year. Mm-hmm. So like that true power bat would potentially, I'm not saying goes a very, very long way, but I would like to see that true power bat addition to this lineup if that's a possibility.
Well, you're not getting like a guaranteed. Like you're getting a guy that has potential to hit home runs, I feel like, but it's not guarantee because every move they've made
at the
deadline for a bat, find me one that's actually
you're right
overperformed at their expectations.
Yeah, you're right.
And that number would be like
Not more
Zero.
than like one. Yeah. You're right. You're right. I mean,
In that year, at least.
wait, what are the odds? You're right. Like 1 year, would it be nice to add Josh Bell, and then Josh Bell hits like 12 home runs in the final 50 games of the year?
Like, can they get just one guy that they trade for a bat? Can they get one bat that turns into like you said, 10 home runs in the final 45 games?
It happens with other teams repeatedly.
For some reason, it can't happen here.
It's very weird. All right, Kevin Acee on the other side, plus our winner of today's pair of tickets to see SDFC on Friday night against Nashville. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres lose their finale game against the finale game.
What did they
The
lose?
finale. The finale.
Just go. Do we have a national show we could just air right now?
I wish we could. My brain is dead. It's only Wednesday. Padres lose to the Marlins 3-2 today. They lost 2 of 3. They take on the Cardinals for a 4-game series to wrap up their 10-game road trip starting tomorrow afternoon. Rapid Radios are instant push to talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. No subscription ever. Business owners can keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
All right, you're going to hear from Kevin Acee in a moment. This was after the Padres lost their finale day. Whatever they lost.
I don't even know.
Earlier today.
The
All
finale
right,
of the 3-game series.
Can we get a drum roll? We have Darren Smith, Adrian Garcia, Marquez in studio.
Help
SDFC Midweek Live at 6 p.m. We're giving away a pair of tickets for Friday night at Snapdragon, SDFC in Nashville. Can we get a drum roll?
Chris from Lemon Grove, congratulations.
From Lemon Grove.
You just can't speak.
I can't speak.
What did you say? Finally?
Finale.
They lost their final
Finale.
And congratulations, Chris from Lemon Grove.
Dude.
All right. If you missed Kevin, by the way, we're giving away Creed tickets in about 10 minutes. If you missed Kevin Acee, we started by asking, like, how do you wrap your mind around Sandy Alcantara being so bad all year long and then being so good today for the Miami Marlins?
Can it be all of it? Like, the best thing I can say about the Padres is if I was watching this game in April or May and I saw them get it shoved up their backside like Sandy Alcantara did today, I would be like, man, that guy, he was really good. You know, not much you could do about that. But 2 things. Sandy Alcantara's numbers in the course of the season, and he's actually been worse recently, as you mentioned. And number 2, you're tired, everyone's tired, I'm tired of talking about the offense facing a good pitcher and, you know, hey, that's baseball. So I'm going to give all of it because I do not want to take away. Like the Padres hitters were talking about, like having a curveball they hadn't seen. Like, I mean, this guy looked like that guy that I had seen pitch against the Padres and that everyone's seen, you know, on TV. Watch this guy shove. He was really good. He may yet be really good again. He's just been horrible this year. And then to see this happen today, hey, look what the Padres did to him last time. They did what everyone else did. And then he was different today. And, you know, they didn't get it done.
The reason why they lost today was not because of Dylan Cease. He pitched fine, you know, 5 innings, couple earned runs.
Oh, you've lowered your expectations, but go on.
Well, I was my point kept like they didn't lose because of him today, right?
Yeah.
Like
right.
I still think Dylan needs to be a lot better, obviously.
Yeah.
And going forward now, his name is now rumored out there in the trade market. Odds that he gets traded, in your opinion, odds that the Padres even look to trade him at the deadline. We've talked about this, like, well, how do you replace him? But his name is out there now. What's your gut feeling on this?
Obviously, I haven't heard his name. Like me personally, first person, I haven't been able to get it confirmed. Yes, they've taken calls on him. That really has never stopped. What slyly someone said, well, we'd have to get someone else. So, you know, I just don't see it happening. I mean, how do you, except for, I'm trying to say I don't see it happening, but like I'm also hearing and have been for weeks and now increasingly more. And now I've seen it out there as well that the Padres probably looking to swap some salary. Are they going to get real tricky here? Are we talking a 3-team trade? Are we talking like a series of trades where they get a really good pitcher? They let go of Dylan Cease. They move one of their right infielders. They get another right infielder. Like, I mean, I don't know. That would be the only way. You absolutely have to replace him. Where do you replace Dylan Cease's innings? And to give up on Dylan Cease now just seems strange. Also, I wonder what you're going to get. A team's going to pay, $4 million for 9-10 starts. It seems like that would be a difficult thing to swing for all those reasons.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. Can you further provide insight for our listeners when you write this? There's all sorts of chatter around the league about the Padres looking to swing big at the trade deadline to land a player who can give them some big swings, which obviously makes sense with an AJ Preller. But we've also talked about the lack of payroll flexibility, that this C word, this creative word. So like you just said, I mean, maybe it's something like a 3-team trade, or maybe it involves a major league player. But can you provide just additional insight when you write something like that?
Yeah, then gosh, I forget. It was one of these trips that I was talking with someone, and who knows what's up, and they started talking about all these possibilities beyond left field and DH, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, you've got people at those positions, and then you just start piecing things together. Because look, I'm not Ken Rosenthal. People aren't calling me, and I'm not Ken Rosenthal where I'm calling Brian Cashman and he's picking up the phone. I don't have specifics for you, but I'm piecing together all the things that I've been hearing and saying they're looking. And putting it with the very important caveat of they don't have a lot of money. And I flat out been told that, to add significant money, they have to subtract money. So I'm putting it all together and saying, wow, they're going to do something that just shocks us where, and I'm just trying not to say names, because then it's like, oh, well, I said this, but let's just say Jake Cronenworth, okay, who they've never, ever stopped getting calls on because of the value that he brings, because of his contract and what he produces. So let's say that it's him, and you just freed up $12 million a year for the next 5 years, and you freed up $4 million this year, and now you've got some flexibility. Something like that could be like the domino to a series of moves that they make here in the next week.
How would that go over in the clubhouse if that were to happen?
First off, my resignation letter is in. One of the finest human beings ever. And I mean that beyond a baseball player. They'd survive. So I wanted to say that and say, like, it'll be a big hit. It will. And he's a good guy, and he brings a lot, but they'd survive. I mean, that's just how it goes in the business. And they would want to know, obviously you make a trade like that, believe me, they're not just giving Jake away for scraps. It would be a big deal. It might be that, I don't know. It might be the trade that, one of the biggest trades of the deadline is something like that if he's involved. So the Padres would get over it. I don't want to put too much on what it would do in a clubhouse. But I mean, it would be a hit. And then that's how professional athletes have been covering this a long time, been doing a lot of trade deadlines, off seasons where, oh my gosh. And I used to get so into, they're never going to get over this, because even some players in the moment will say, oh, this is brutal, no. And then, they're fine. It's business. But me, quite honestly, that's the first time I've even contemplated it. I mean, I'm honest. Like, I think he's that important to the Padres, and I like him that much that I haven't even contemplated, even though I've been hearing it for weeks, that, the Jake Cronenworth could be gone.
Good insight. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, with us. So you write about Joe Musgrove today, which should come as no surprise for those that have followed Joe Musgrove. I mean, he's always trying to strive for goals and help his team, and I think he should be credited for that. So that's on one hand. But on the other hand, it's hard to come back from Tommy John in less than a year, and it's even harder to not just come back, but be impactful for a team that's hoping to make a postseason or contend once they're in the postseason. So is this just striving for something, but is it attainable? Like, would Joe Musgrove returning in September or October help the Padres in their quest to win a World Series championship this year?
It's a great question, and it's something that not even Joe could answer, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like Joe is so honest that he'd be like the guy who said, "Up, guys, I suck. I'm not giving you any help here." As much as he's competitive, he's also a really honest and good self-evaluator. I feel like the little side notes, both that I've written and this conversation with Joe and others, that he is being realistic and that he is ahead of schedule. And like you said, this is the guy who went out and would drive 40 minutes both ways to go to a hyperbaric chamber when he dropped the kettlebell on his toe. All the other things he's pushed himself on, which are both good and, can be a little too much, right? So it's a valid question of, first off, is it good for him to push? And they're being very careful on that. I think it is. It is, based on everything I'm hearing. But your question about how valuable won't be known until he throws. I mean, it is hard to come back. Sandy Alcantara being one of the exhibits of evidence that it's difficult to come back from Tommy John surgery.
Is it fair to say now, or do we still have to wait for, Fernando Tatis Jr.? Like, hey, this is just who he is, and maybe he'll have some moments here and there, but I mean, it's not great. I mean, his numbers over the start of the second half, he's got 3 hits. His last 30 games, his slugging percentage is .352. I'm kind of like very confused and baffled by watching Fernando Tatis play, because it's just at the plate, it's not the same guy.
I can tell that you are, because I've taken to on my drives down to the park listening to you guys. And generally, Jim, you're very certain of what you say, even when it's asinine.
Yes.
And and now you feel it sounds like you're very conflicted, and it seems to be an appropriate reaction to what we're watching here. I like to think I'm someone who I put things in context. Perspective is so huge to me that I will err on the side of being late to making an assessment, because I'm not going to do the hot take, right? That's just something I'm old. I'm just not going to do that. And I'm watching him. Now, here's the thing about that. I'll wait and I'll wait and I'll wait. And then once I make that decision, and based on what I see and who I talk to, I'm like pretty firm on it. Like, and this is how I feel. Like, I don't feel like this guy's dangerous when he comes to the plate anymore. Now, there's not a pitcher in the league that wouldn't tell me I'm wrong. They'd say, nope, that's Fernando Tatis Jr. We got to pitch him carefully. Then I say, man, you guys must be all pitching him really well, because I mean, it's rollover. It's first pitch rollover. Yeah, there's some hard, but like, come on, I'm tired of that. Tired of hard ground balls being something that we're applauding. So I happen to think he's one of the best players in the league. I do, but I'm not sure how much longer I can hold on to that. I do want to accentuate the point that you made, which is every once in a while he's going to do something. Look, the guy's special. He's special. He almost, him and Ellie De La Cruz the other night could have even come close in Washington to almost getting out of that rundown. That's special. But that's not why he's making $20 million now and will top out at 28 or 30 at some point in this $340 million contract. That is not what he's being paid for. That's a part of what he's being paid for. But I'm pretty sure he dipped under the 800 OPS again today.
The issue, like we've had this conversation so many times, it's like we're like in a wheel and we keep circling. I mean, basically it's our job to have these conversations. But I think that the issue is perception becomes reality. Like when you're a 965 OPS player through the 2021 season and you're a 799, I think that's right, player from 2023 on, it's like it's leading you down a path that I don't want to go down. But like the facts are the facts. It might be injury related. I mean, this guy, for a 26-year-old, Kevin, he might have the body of a 36-year-old with the injuries that he's dealt with. But it's just, man, the further we get away from that 2019 through 2021, the more it feels like it's hard to get back to that player.
Yeah. And I mean, and I didn't get into this business. I don't think you guys did. I didn't get into this business to be that guy. Right. It's like, look at this. But yeah. But I am the guy who got into it to be honest and tell the story. And also there is a fact, like he got that contract and that means he's held to a standard and whatever, however unfair Mike Schilt wants to tell us it is, Mike Schilt knows it's fair. We're going to hold Fernando Tatis Jr. to that standard. And by the way, it's the standard Fernando Tatis Jr. holds himself to. So yeah, it's really something.
You think my takes are asinine, Kevin?
I do.
I think my takes are asinine sometimes. So yes, I'm just telling you. John's never. But you and we got some.
I go to the extremes.
I know we need to let Kevin go. The problem with baseball, Kevin, and you know it better than we do. Yeah. The problem is any definitive statement over 162 games will be proven factually incorrect because even the player that hits 180 has hits 18 out of 100 at bats. So like this guy sucks.
My voice all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys hear my voice all the time. I'll start to make this definitive statement. I'll be like, oh, Kevin, this is going to come back to haunt you as soon as Wednesday.
Seasons are long. It'll drive you crazy because you can have every thought in your mind can cross your mind.
We have to talk about it every day, so that's what's going to happen.
So we're going to look like idiots, and we do. Kev, we'll catch up from St. Louis. Safe travels. All right.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
All right, call right now if you want Creed tickets. We have tickets to see Creed here in San Diego. You need to call right now. This is August 6th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. A 4-pack of tickets to see Creed at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater August 6th. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Caller 3 to 877-767-4760.
Can you
going.
take me higher?
That wasn't bad. 877-767-4760. Caller 3, you are going. We'll get you ready for SDFC Midweek Live on the other side of Jon and Jim.
Every day.
We're going to have Darren Smith and Adrian Garcia Marquez in studio. STFC Midweek Live's coming up in less than 10 minutes. Looking forward to having Darren and Adrian in studio in just a handful of minutes. Padres in St. Louis tomorrow. We'll get you ready for that game. They don't play until later in the afternoon tomorrow in St. Louis. So join us beginning at 2 p.m.
not at
tomorrow.
2:01 p.m.?
No, thankfully, the start times are actually better for us when they're in St. Louis than they were when they were in Miami. I think it's 4:45 or something like that tomorrow. So join us. We'll get you ready. I mean, listen, when they lose, it's like the sky's falling. When they win, everything's fine. It's not the truth either way. And that's what you have to remember. I mean, just use the Cardinals as reference. I mean, the Cardinals are playing terrible baseball right now. They're 52-51. They just play terribly in Colorado, but things can change. I mean, Cardinals can look good this weekend. Their season changes.
Right.
Padres look good this weekend. Their season changes. And that's what I always say about Preller, though. Say he can't react like we react. He's not like, oh, man, what happened there in the 8th inning? I mean, it's such a long view. You got to take these 100 or 105 games and say, what do I have? And what do I need to have on the other side of it? That's his job. Our job is to react to everything.
Mm-hmm. And it's what happens when a team plays sub 500 baseball for as long as they have.
Yes, sub. You're right. 85 games.
The record is not bad.
Yep.
They hold the playoff spot by a game and a half now?
Yeah, which is fine. It's good.
It's fine. They hold the playoff spot. The record's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But they played sub 500 baseball for damn near 100 games.
Yeah, 85.
And so at some point, it's like, who are you? Are you the team that of the last 85 games?
Or the 17?
Or the 17 games to start your season? And the answer is most likely the team that we've seen the last 85 games.
Right, because that's the body of work.
Yeah.
What do you got, Brian? Nothing. Which is fine. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, shoot, we just said they've been under 500 for 85 games, but you're right. It's more than that because they can win tomorrow. They're still under 500.
Right.
They could win the next day. You're right. I mean, they've been a 500 team for the better part of 100 games. Yeah. Yet that's still potentially enough to get them to the postseason, which is what's honestly what baseball did with its postseason. Is make a lot of teams involved, which is a good thing. I think you have markets like St. Louis, Cincinnati that are interested.
It's all false hope, though. But
some of it is false hope.
The interest level now for those teams down the stretch, it's greater because there's an extra wild card team involved.
If the Cardinals were 52-51 in 2005,
no shot.
And like 10 games out in their division, nobody would be like, hey, we still got a shot at the postseason. But now, you're right. I said earlier, I'm like, Cardinals are cooked. They're selling, right? You're like, they're 3.5 games out. When you put it that way, they might just be a good series away against the Padres from being right back in it.
I mean, Padres were 50-50 last year, and they won 93 games.
Right.
So is there a team this year in the National League that you see that
could do that?
The Reds are 53-50. The Cardinals are 52-51. The Diamondbacks are 50-53.
Not the Diamondbacks.
The Giants, they're 54-49.
If there's a team I see that could do it, it's the Marlins. They won't be given the opportunity, and I'm kidding.
They won't.
But they've played well.
Is there a team in the American League? The Rangers, 52-50. Cleveland's 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa's 53-49. The Red Sox are 54-49. All around 500 or at 500, the 50-50 mark.
Maybe Boston would be a candidate just because they recently won 10 straight.
Potentially. But I don't know if there is that team in the National League, to be honest with you. I don't envision the Reds winning like 93 games and getting
I'm with you.
Like red hot.
The truth is none of those teams will probably do what the Padres did last year. None of them.
Probably not.
None of them's going 43.
It doesn't happen every year, but still.
All right, looking forward to STFC Midweek Live. It's on the other side. A big match coming up Friday. STFC first place in the Western Conference. Adrian Garcia Marquez, Darren Smith have had you covered all season long. They'll have you for the next hour as well, beginning at 6 p.m. in just 4 or 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere. STFC Midweek Live on the other side. Then join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. We'll get you ready for Padres and Cardinals Game 1 from Busch Stadium. If you missed anything today, go to sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. STFC Midweek Live coming up next right here on San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
Bye-bye.